Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the VIS Professional League, bringing you guys the summer season here at the VIS desk. I'm your host, Dragonboard, and joining me tonight, it's the Nominate and Fonz as we look to get into the action and start off our semifinals. It's been a crazy 2 weeks to Nominate. We've had a lot of games. We've been able to stream every single one of them, and I don't think any of them have been short of exciting. I mean, we've had some one-sided games, but for the most part, we've had some very close series down the stretch, and now it leads down to this. The final 4 teams over the next 2 days are going to be facing for a chance at the winner-take-all $1,500. Let's jump in and look at our matchup today. Now, one of the big changes today, as we're going to talk about this team, is, it is Immortals versus Echo Fox, but this is going to be a best-of-5, and we did split the semifinals across 2 days. So this is going to be a little bit longer series, but it is just going to be each team playing one day before we go into the grand finals on Saturday. And of course, this matchup might be the most exciting semifinals because of these 2 teams, implications of these 2 teams. A Vainglory A team that just barely got into the VG8 finals, and Echo Fox, who is of course going to the Challenger Championship Cup. But this is a team looking to get back into the Vainglory 8.
They absolutely are, and Echo Fox has really put on a good performance. Obviously, they did get the Challengers Regional Cup first place spot, and will be going up against Team Queso, not this weekend, but the following weekend. So definitely a capable team. Again, you did mention they dropped down from the VG8, but they have picked up Selena Gomez, who's really led to a lot of success on this team. So I don't think Immortals can really take this Echo Fox roster lightly, because if they play sloppy, Echo Fox does have the skills and the coordination that they can really capitalize on mistakes. So Immortals is going to be in a little bit of a situation here where they don't want to reveal too much going into the championships next weekend, but they also have to play good enough to take down this Echo Fox roster.
You're absolutely correct, Adamine. They want to win. They've actually shown up. They're playing with their starters again. They're really not holding back. But they are looking for those comfort picks, the ones that, there's no surprises here. And honestly, I don't think they need surprises. If you think about this roster, they're so deep as it is, and some of their comfort picks are so well documented that, you're not going to really learn anything. You're just going to know DNZO can play just about anything in the lane. T-Tigers is an aggressive jungler. And of course, Max Greed, he's one of the greatest supports this season, rising to the top in support rankings across the board. And so no surprise, they're very, very good. But Echo Fox, they are preparing for the Challenger Cup, but I don't think they're worried about maybe letting a few of their secrets fly here in the chance to get that VIS professional title.
Yeah, Echo Fox definitely has to bring all of their cards out today to try to get in and get that spot secured. So it's going to be some exciting games to go on tonight. And then obviously, as you said, the winner of the game today will go on to face the winner of the games tomorrow in the winner-take-all $1,500 prize. So that is, that's a pretty good chunk of change for teams for a side professional tournament like this. So definitely all these teams wanting to get that.
Yeah,
and obviously Echo Fox has a lot to prove. So
they have a lot to prove, and really, this is going to be a long, grueling series, and this is something that I don't think they've had that exposure to. Immortals, this roster specifically, they've been in these situations. They've been in best of 5s. They know the drill, and I think that they are going to have the endurance down the stretch to really make it happen. So when we let's take a look at these 2 teams. If you had to focus on it, who's your X factor going into this series?
I think we have to give some credit to DNZO. He's really been a player for a long time in the competitive scene that can really make such a huge game-changing opportunity. Obviously, dating all the way back, he does have a first-place win underneath his belt as well. So definitely, you gotta be careful what you allow him to get in the lane. We obviously know that Vox is just so incredibly deadly when it's in his hands. So definitely things that you have to consider going forward if you are Echo Fox.
You're absolutely right. Zio has been probably the most consistent and one of the more decorated laners over the last year and a half, ever since he made it to that Spring 2016 Live Championship and stunned Phoenix Rain at the time, taking that first place. He has been fixed on one of the top laner leaderboards, and especially at live championships. This guy always shows up and always plays his A game when it matters, when it counts. And of course, when Immortals first acquired this roster, Denominate, this was back in the VIS Pro spring season. Or the winter season, I believe. They actually won one of the splits first place. So Immortals has a VIS Pro championship under their belt. This could be a chance for them to get a second.
It definitely could. And again, this is a team that you cannot take lightly. This is really an all-star team that came together, with the exception of Max Green, who is a little unknown. Now, I don't want to say he's not an all-star player. It's just when he was picked up by this roster, he was kind of lesser known. Nobody really knew what to expect. Maybe came in a little bit sloppier than a lot of people had planned, but has really developed those mechanical skills and the strategy over the past, couple months on this team. And I really think that Max Green has really, as you mentioned earlier, become one of those better captains in North America right now.
Yeah, and D'Anzio, worth noting, he is the only player that's on the roster from that first VIS professional title. But, that's really actually just more respect for this guy. The fact that he could just stay consistent as his players around him change. It doesn't matter. He's still showing up and making a huge difference.
He absolutely is, and should be getting into the draft here in just a moment. I don't think we'll see any surprises, though. It'll probably be either a Lyra Catherine ban or a Grace Catherine ban, with the exception of every once in a while we do see something like a Glaive or even a Vox band away against some of those teams that are just really known for those heroes that can be so game-changing. But I do think it is going to be probably a Lyra and a Catherine off the board, and giving the Grace over to Max Green.
Yeah, it's been pretty consistent on how these drafts have followed through. We've seen, the healers, these three, it's like the trifecta. Catherine and the two healers are always prioritized here. Lyra is going to be that first ban. Echo Fox has to decide between Catherine and Grace at this point. We have seen some teams kind of switch things up so that they could get Catherine or Grace here by, banning a Glaive or something, but it's going to be the Catherine.
It's just too risky to give over the Catherine right now, so you can't ban away the Grace. You can't really throw away a ban either, because that first pick Catherine, again, she just works so good into so many different heroes. That double silence coming through, we talked about it last week a little bit. The buffs to Echo have just made Catherine so viable that, again, she gets so tanky as the game goes on, can obviously be that front line that a captain really needs to be, as well as get that double silence down potential is absolutely huge. So it is going to be a Lance coming through for the side of Echo Fox. This is something that we've seen Slata on, and he has done a really great job on, but really showing that, we want to take T-Tigers off of that Koshka. They are going to go ahead and ban it away, and Immortals is going to ban away the Vox as well, not wanting to give that Lance and Vox over. So definitely some pretty smart banning here. I definitely think this opens the door for a Glaive pick would be pretty strong here. I don't like the Idris in this position. Or you could even go with something flexible like a Kestrel or even a Celeste or a Scarf. I've really brought their face into the meta.
Yeah, and the Koshka ban is such a dig at T-Tigers, and respectful dig at that, just saying we can't let you get on this. We can't let you have this aggressive jungler. There are still other ones that we've seen T-Tigers play well on. Crystal Kestrel has been very menacing here in 2.7. We've seen it just absolutely dominate the series, and Echo Fox is going to take the Kestrel here. And I think this is really smart. You really don't want to give someone like T-Tigers a very aggressive snowball jungler, that really powerful Crystal jungler.
Yeah, and I really think that Kestrel is a smart pickup here. It does a couple of things. So it does keep that flexibility on B-side alive, but not only does it do that, it takes away that pick from T-Tigers, but T-Tigers is now going to go ahead and get this Celeste very likely and put the Glaive in the lane onto D'Anzio. Glaive just can be so aggressive when he just gets fed so much gold, and obviously he has a lot of escape potential in the lane. He doesn't really have a risk of being ganked quite as heavily as some of the other heroes in the fold. So definitely a smart draft here out of Immortals, and it is going to be a Scarf, so that is going to put the Kestrel in the lane as that weapon carry.
And Irwin, he is a very well-known Scarf. We talked about it yesterday. Teams keep giving him Scarf, and he seems to be able to turn things around with this hero in a way that maybe needs to garner a little bit more respect.
I mean, it's definitely a strong pick, especially as the game goes on. I think I remember Bacon. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I believe I remember him saying that Scarf's win rate after the 18-minute mark is pretty abysmally high, somewhere in the 70% range. So if this game goes late enough, there definitely is a lot of potential for the Scarf, especially with the ability for Kestrel to poke as well. So there's definitely a lot of danger for Glaive if he doesn't make a safe engagement.
You know, you're absolutely right. We have seen Glaive become a pretty powerful weapon carry. As you mentioned, its flexed lane or jungle makes it really great early phases of the draft here. It did come out a little bit later, but I think that it's still a pick that, you know, you got to be careful. You're giving this to Zeo potentially. We could see Zeo play Celeste in the lane. I mean, that we have seen some mages work back and flex into the lane position, but I think that what we've seen recently meta and just how Zeo and Tigers have been playing, it is going to be that Celeste in the jungle.
Yeah, so that is definitely what we expect to see here. Now, by all means, we could see Dienzio still pull out that Celeste in the lane. He was known for quite some time for his lane Scarf, so we know that he is comfortable with the mages in the lane. It's just maybe not the most comfortable meta right now, especially because, again, Glaive just does so well when you super farm him up that gold. And obviously, there being more gold in the lane and more experience in the jungle, it does benefit both of those heroes well, because Celeste will get to level 8 sooner, get those overdriven heliogenesis, and then obviously Glaive will become a monster very, very early on, getting probably, I would say, a Tension Bow, Sorrow Blade, maybe a Poison Shiv, and it is going to be T-Tigers on the Glaive, so this will be Dienzio bringing that Celeste into the lane. So again, definitely mages are his comfort when he does play something off meta.
Yeah, and we've definitely seen mages come back into the lane slowly. It's been a process over the last 2 updates to see this trickle in here and there, because for a long time it's been those CP junglers, and that shift is starting to occur just ever so slightly. Of course, you know, there's a lot of, I'm sure, a few more tricks up Immortals' bag if they have, even for tonight and for potentially the grand finals. Well, with that, though, we are getting into this first match, so I'm going to be kicking over to our casters, Denomine, of course, as well as Fonz, to get us into the action.
How's it going, guys? It's Fonz. Looking forward to this very nice best of 5. How about you, Denomine?
I think I'm always excited to see Immortals and Echo Fox play. It's just there's a lot of potential for this to go either way. These are both highly skilled teams. And again, Selena Gomez being picked up by the side of Echo Fox has just been absolutely a huge change for them. But it is looking like Immortals is getting a little aggressive here, trying to steal away some farm.
Yep, looking at a nice invade coming in their jungle, taking away the Treant. Slata, although able to come back in with an Impale, but Max Green still chasing with Benediction. Some damage coming in, Slata getting below half health. He's going to be able to shrug it off. It's the Lance.
Slata is getting taken down a bit, but as you just said, you know, he's going to be able to shrug it off. That Lance is a one of the tankier of captains, especially when he has somebody targeted and has that percentage of damage incoming reduction, not quite having the Githian wall yet. So it's definitely going to be all about blocking out that Celeste. But Irwin...
Whoa, that's a nice first blood coming in from the side of Immortals. Oh, no, from Immortals. Echo Fox just losing Scarf super early. Irwin getting caught out in the jungle.
Yeah, and giving that first blood over to T-Tiger is really not the most ideal scenario. You know, we talked about it at the beginning, that Glaive, when he has gold behind him, he can really be such a devastating threat. So giving that bonus 200 gold to T-Tigers early is definitely not a good start for the side of Echo Fox. And as Dienzio is just going to sit up here in the lane and continue to farm up, it's going to be interesting to see what he goes for first item. There are no regeneration health treants here in the lane, so he will be fighting for energy if he doesn't pick up something like an Eve of Harvest or at least a Void Battery when he does shop. So definitely something we're going to have to see which direction he chooses to go. Irwin finds a Spitfire on a T-Tigers, which is going to push him off the treant.
Yep. Back in the lane, we saw a little bit of Max Green jumping into the brush, trying to scout out Echo Fox in the bushes, but getting poked down a little bit from Selena Gomez. That's where the Glimmer Shot comes in, and just trading damage and CS at this point.
Yeah, definitely trading out a little bit. We have a small gold lead for the side of Immortals, but that is mostly the just that first blood onto T-Tigers, who now has a Blazing Salvo picked up and does have that 6 sin, so I definitely think he's going into that Tension Bow first item. It is 2 squishy carries on the side of Echo Fox, so that high burst that Glaive will bring to the table with that build is absolutely insane. And if Dienzio is able to follow it up with a Supernova, it should result in easy kills for Immortals. But if Selena Gomez is able to find some clean Glimmer shots... Oh, hold on a second. Good root.
Very nice Githian wall initiation coming in on the side of Slata, followed up with a very nice 2-man impale onto Max Green and T-Tigers. Unfortunately, it doesn't lead into a kill, but they are able to force Grace back to the base, getting Elder Treant for Irwin. Another very nice jungle bonus.
Yeah, definitely getting those Treants is going to be huge, especially since they lost out on that first blood. I'm actually surprised that Immortals hasn't been a little more aggressive since Max Green did pick up that Dragon Blood contract. That is a pretty sizable burst of additional damage here in the early game, and they just haven't really had an opportunity to use it. And, you know, the later this game gets going on, that burst is going to be smaller and smaller as people's health pools get larger and larger. So we really need to take advantage of that Dragon Blood while we can. It functions really well with Grace because that Benediction gets you in nice and close.
Yep, exactly. And we have pause currently. So while we wait for this to happen, I want to take a look at my personal favorite character out of the pool, Scarf. Scarf is like my absolute favorite to play just because of the long-range poke, the goop interaction with Spitfire, and especially the Dragon's Breath. One of my favorite champions, especially going into like the late game, past the 20-minute mark, like you guys were talking about earlier, where his win rate is extremely high compared to others.
And we do have an update on the pause for you guys. We do have a little bit of lag on the side of Immortals, so we are going to get paused and hope that connection does clear up, give them a chance to reset their device, reset their internet, whatever they may need to do. And we do have an unpause, and Dienzio is returning to the lane. So hopefully all is good to go. A little bit of a growing lead for the side of Immortals. They're sitting around 500 gold in advantage right now. So definitely a little bit more than just that first blood at this point. As the jungle intensifies, it is going to give T-Tigers an opportunity to rotate up, expecting that Scarf is going to go down to that shot. But Irwin is coming up. Selena Gomez is very low in energy.
Yep, he gets scouted out by that flare, but it is all 6 members in this lane, so we may or may not see an engagement coming in, but it looks like T-Tigers is going to back off, head into his jungle, and continue farming, trying to get a gold lead ahead of Scarf.
Yeah, and that was good positioning from Echo Fox. They were playing, reasonably far back, so it was really preventing an engagement out of T-Tigers. If he would have went in for an afterburn, it would have put him in a really susceptible spot for Lance to Githian to wall him underneath that turret, root him underneath that turret. And this early in the game with no defense, those turret shots rack up really quickly, as the Tension Bow is now complete for T-Tigers. And Dienzio did go with that Eve of Harvest first, so I'm glad he went this route in the lane specifically because, again, you just need that energy regeneration in the lane because you don't have those Treants to help you sustain yourself.
Oh, give it a second. Max Green and T-Tigers finding Irwin in the jungle. He's able to get Goop down, maybe separate them. Nice Githian wall from Slata and an impale onto Max Green. Unfortunately, the Treant does go onto T-Tigers. T-Tigers afterburns away onto Selena Gomez, able to get the active camo out in time, unable to get pounced on and popped. So Echo Fox able to get away from this engagement in the jungle. But no, T-Tiger's coming right back in. He isn't done. And the hero kill goes on to Dienzio with a very nice auto attack after a core collapse. And it keeps going. Slater, nice 2-man Githian wall. They're able to pop T-Tigers as well. And Irwin able to back out and survive that very long engage. Max Green, he took a tower shot there kind of unnecessarily, while he and Dienzio are putting quite a bit of damage onto that turret.
Yeah, and to me, Immortals really won that trade out pretty substantially because it did cause Selena Gomez to miss an entire wave of those lane minions. T-Tigers did drop, but Echo Fox wasn't in a position to push his jungle, so he didn't lose out on anything. So definitely a win there for the side of Immortals to keep this Kestrel behind. Sorrowblade is complete. Selena Gomez will start to do large amount of damage.
T-Tigers jumping in with the afterburn, and Selena Gomez getting dropped down immediately and popped, while Slata is trying to just keep the Immortals away from Erwin. And very nice two-man Githian wall. Erwin able to put out a nice bit of damage because of the range coming in from Goop and Spitfire. But yeah, Kestrel just getting picked out again by T-Tigers. He's doing a great job of keeping her down.
Yeah, it's really easy for a Glaive to get to that back line. Again, he does have to be cautious not to go a little too far. But he's been doing a great job so far. And now, as Selena Gomez does return to the lane, level 6, that one-shot, one-kill did whiff. But, you know, definitely a little bit of a level advantage here.
Slata getting very low under turret.
Erwin, though.
Wow, Erwin getting caught out by T-Tiger, but a very nice two-man Githian wall. Slata is able to get the Impale onto Max Green. Erwin looks like he's going to be able to get out, still putting a bit of damage onto T-Tigers. Another stun coming out from Slata, who's doing an amazing job peeling for his cores. Unfortunately, does miss the Impale, but they are able to pick up the kill, even out the hero score for Erwin. Now it's 3-3, and they're putting their eyes towards the gold miner.
Yeah, that was a really good situation there for Echo Fox, and that is going to put them now in a little bit of a gold lead, getting that immense gold payout. So definitely showing some signs of life here. After a good afterburn from the Glaive, but no core collapse to follow it up, and that it did result in Erwin just bootsing out of the fight and getting to that safe position that allowed him to turn it around so quickly. You know, again, this is going to be really interesting games to watch. Both of these teams are very high skill cap players, and Selena Gomez coming onto this roster has been absolutely huge for me since day number 1. He's just had really impressive performances. So I definitely think Fox stands a pretty sizable chance here.
Yep, definitely. And T-Tigers, another dive going into Selena Gomez under the turret, even taking extra turret shots, but not minding at all. They take down the kill, are able to force Slata back. He uses the Githian wall, trying to get them away from himself, and he is able to impale over the wall, but they do lose a kill and a turret for that push and aggression.
Yeah, and that does bring the gold lead back into the favor of Immortals, as well as obviously that first turret being down. It does make it a little more difficult for Selena Gomez to get that farm safely, as well as obviously objective control. They now have further to run back into the lane before they do have the defense coming out of that turret. So Immortals takes a huge win there, despite this only being a 7-kill game 9 minutes in. But now as the lane pushes and Dienzio and T-Tigers are splitting the gold in the back, this is an opportunity for the side of Echo Fox to return some damage on this turret. Scarf and Kestrel very good at pushing, but just like that, Immortals is coming in.
There it is. It looks like Slate is able to get a stun onto T-Tigers, forcing him back, so he's unable to engage. It gives Echo Fox a chance for them to just head back into their jungle, try to consolidate a little bit more gold, try to catch up in gold, finish maybe one or two more, one item or maybe parts to an item. And they currently don't have anything to answer this aggression because Slata is the only sort of peel that they have for the carries besides the active camo coming in from Selena Gomez. And there it is. There's T-Tigers jumping in again. Active camo goes out. Slata with a very nice impale root, and Goop coming down as well as Spitfire. One shot, one kill goes out of the T-Tigers. T-Tigers gets taken down, and that was a very nice engage and disengage on the side of Slata with the follow-up from Selena Gomez.
Yeah, it was a good Githian wall that really started to turn that fight around. A Holy Nova was coming out of Max Screen, and he pushed the entire enemy team away, which did give Selena Gomez and Erwin the opportunity to get some damage down. The Goop coming through out of Erwin really started to ramp up some damage. One shot, one kill came through, hit T-Tigers, and that allowed Erwin to get that final Spitfire down that dropped him in that fight. So again, Echo Fox has really been impressing me. And as this game goes later and later, Scarf's win rate obviously gets higher and higher. But Dienzio on the Celeste looking to change that, looking to drop that Scarf win ratio here a little bit, and they do have to be careful as Irwin is pretty injured right now and doesn't really have a whole lot of energy to his name. And now
he gets found by T-Tigers. T-Tigers is able to chunk him quite a bit, and there goes Grace with the benediction and unable to land the following stun, but Slade is able to come in with the root. Solar Storm goes out, able to hit onto 2. Irwin getting very low. Slater also very low, so they are unable to continue this fight, so they back off. Echo Fox doing a great job with the kiting and the poking, and Max Green immediately calls for the gold miner once they're able to push Echo Fox out of the jungle.
Yeah, and that's a good call from the side of Immortals there to see that the enemy is recalling, turn their attention to the gold mine, get that objective gold in their pocket. And, you know, that was a really good fight for the side of Immortals just because they did force Fox out. But Slada actually could have been put in a really bad position, but he has that Githian wall overdriven, and he actually used it at the time T-Tigers went to use the Afterburn, and it actually blocked out that crowd control. So he didn't get stunned up, and that allowed him to get back into a safer position. So really well played out of Slada there. Again, Lance is one of his better heroes, in my opinion. But we do have to be careful here as Echo Fox is completely spread out right now.
Yep. Echo Fox split. Slada has to be in these front lines to disengage or counter-engage based on what Immortals does, because T-Tigers is Immortals' way into these fights and into finding these kills that they need to push.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one real big benefit that the side of Immortals has is Scarf does have to poke through either Max Green or T-Tigers to try to get to D'Enzio, whereas Celeste can drop those Heliogenesis and Core Collapse beyond the front line and try to get some zoning down, make it difficult for Selena Gomez to get into range where those Glimmer shots can connect and hit their full damage potential. And that's definitely going to be key for the side of Immortals as the
there goes Immortals looking for Irwin, but Slater is able to follow up. They're fighting along with this Crystal Sentry, able to spot out Irwin with the flare, but Immortals decides they don't want to take this fight.
Yeah, they're definitely playing it a little bit cautious here. They do know how much of a danger this Scarf can be with the Frostburn and the Broken Myth, but T-Tigers gets the steal.
T-Tiger is getting caught with the steal, but unfortunately he is stunned up and locked down. Nice one-shot, one kill from Selena Gomez from the flank, but does get popped to less than half HP because of D'Enzio and his Heliogenesis. And everyone on Echo Fox getting down very low. Selena Gomez just drops from half HP because of this damage coming out from D'Enzio and T-Tigers. Unfortunately, he was split, caught by himself, and this might result in this turret getting down to half health or even getting destroyed. Slada trying to jump in, save the turret, unable to, but he does get the Githian wall on the T-Tigers, maybe getting the impale, but no, unfortunately not. That was a very nice afterburn from T-Tigers to displace Lance.
Yeah, and we really got to look over at D'Enzio's build to really see where all that damage is coming from. He is going into 4 offensive items. He has the Broken Myth, he has the Eve, he has the Frostburn, but he might even be looking to go into a Shatterglass on top of this build here, as he does have the Heavy Prism in his pocket. And this is really looking good for Immortals right now. They have 2 turrets down. Their first turret is still alive, and they've been finding a lot of opportunity in these fights. Having the 2 mages, it is going to take a little bit of build-up time for them to really start making those really aggressive pushes. But both teams have the potential. Getting this late into the game, 15 minutes, Kraken is spawning. This still could be anybody's game. We just need to get some items built up here on the Scarf. He is only sitting at 2 tier 3 items right now.
Yeah, Scarf and Kestrel doing an amazing job in pushing turrets. So this can go either way. It all depends on a team fight or a pick into a Kraken, and it looks like Max Green does find Slater and Irwin, a little bit of Heliogenesis poke coming out on the side of D'Enzio, able to zone them out and away from the Kraken so that they aren't able to put down any flares or scout traps. And here it goes, nice 2-man Githian wall coming in from Slada, but backs out because there is no follow-up because of D'Enzio doing a great job zoning out Selena Gomez and Irwin. And they're afraid for their cores because T-Tigers can just jump in behind them exactly like that with his afterburn and do a lot of damage. But oh man, the impale gets blocked on the side of Immortals, and this one-shot, one kill, unable to take anyone down. Irwin getting taken down very low using his Dragon's Breath, unable to find the kill. That's both core ults going down, and just everyone on both sides of the field getting very low.
Yeah, this is really going to be the nature of these fights. If a kill isn't found and both teams are dropping low, there's too much risk of re-engaging against the damage threat that a Kestrel and a Scarf or a Glaive and a Celeste can put down. So if you come in and you're a little low on health, then obviously that Tension Bow, Twisted Stroke proc out of Glaive is just going to chunk away at your health. And then obviously Selena Gomez with those Glimmer shots, having 2 Tyrant's Monocles, a Sorrow Blade, and a level 12 Infusion in pocket can just be absolutely devastating to whoever is in front of those abilities. So, realistically here, we could potentially be one fight away for Immortals' victory if they're able to find a clean ace and a Kraken. But we could see a big turnaround out of Fox, too. They're only sitting about 3,000 gold behind at 17 minutes. They've been doing a great job keeping up with the pace of Immortals.
Yeah, it's been back and forth, even with the turret discrepancy. And it's just these engages coming in and disengages. Slata almost getting the impale onto D'Anzio, but gets poked out a bit. Finds Max Green on the side, stuns Max Green. But Max Green is able to just jump in with a benediction onto Irwin. Slata getting really low. T-Tiger's on the side getting also very low because he jumped onto Selena Gomez. Selena Gomez able to kite his way back, survive, but Lance goes down. Unfortunately, the one-shot, one-kill does miss, unable to find the kill, and they lose. Echo Fox just loses Lance for nothing, but it does force Grace and Glaive to back, so they're unable to take Kraken or push.
Yeah, something that actually happened in that last fight that was pretty interesting to me was Max Green went to use that first Divine Intervention. He does have the Echo, so he can get 2 of those abilities. Mm-hmm. He was standing in an active camo, and Selena actually did stun him out of that first Divine Intervention. But now it is Immortals starting up this Kraken, and that is unfortunate timing as Selena Gomez and Irwin did both just recall, and they're taking this very, very quickly with the Celeste. That's going to be a free Kraken going over to Immortals now.
Yep, that was great timing on the side of Immortals because Lance was still down by the time that the Kraken was at half progression. So great timing on their end. They're going to be able to push this lane very well. Even with Echo Fox having all 3 up, they're not going to be able to honestly do anything right now because they're a little bit behind 1 item, I believe, on Scarf. And just the strong engage coming in from Immortals is going to pose problems here.
Yeah, and they have the Celeste going in with this Kraken who can just rain damage down on the turret and the enemy team if they're not careful. So that's definitely what we're going to be looking for here out of Immortals. Scarf and Kestrel both have to attack through the Kraken. So this is a pretty good push potential here for Immortals. Kraken's still half health.
Yep. Kraken will be able to get to these next pairs of turrets, and we'll see how this team fight goes on. But there it is with D'Anzio on the Heliogenesis. Damage coming out. They're going to be able to get one of the Crystal Vein turrets, but they do get poked back out. Kraken does get taken down. It looks like Immortals has a very good grasp on this end game.
Yeah, they are looking in a really good position here. The gold discrepancy is still only around 2,500 to 3,000 gold, but it is 1 turret that stands between them and victory, and we see how quickly they can take turrets. But
whoa, here goes Slata, nice Githian wall stun onto T-Tigers, but Grace just jumps in the back line with the benediction, unable to get the stun off. 1 shot, 1 kill, landing onto who it needs to be, and that's D'Anzio. But there goes the fountain, or no, there goes Grace's ultimate, and then the Echo goes off cooldown, and now the Echo Fox is just going to have to be forced to keep skirmishing around this. D'Anzio is back up to full health, and 1 shot, 1 kill is on cooldown.
Yeah, 1 shot, 1 kill is on cooldown, but not for very long. And now Slata is coming in trying to find D'Anzio.
Yep. Whoa, there it is. And the Afterburn coming in on top of D'Anzio. The core collapse and the solar storm from Celeste just doing an amazing job. That 1 shot, 1 kill, unable to finish off Max Green, and they lose Crystal Sentry and Lance again for seemingly nothing.
Yeah, Max Green is very low, but he does have a Divine Intervention and a Fountain still available to him. So Immortals looking in a really good spot right here. This is a very low kill game, though, for 21 minutes in, sitting at only 11 kills. Man, Immortals, if they can find a kill here onto Selena Gomez or Irwin while Slata is down, that could be huge. But it does look like they're just going to turn their attention towards the Kraken, who should be spawning here in just a couple seconds, maybe about 10. So
yeah, I believe so.
There is some potential. They do take the Kraken very fast, but Slata is coming on the board. And
Slata's up.
Gomez and Irwin are going to be able to see these particle effects coming out of the Enzio.
Yep. Selena Gomez puts the one shot, one kill out. Max Green's there. The active camo's out to disengage. Slata's running in with the combat roll, looking for an Impaler Githian roll. Nice Githian wall, I mean. And there it goes. They were able to catch Grace out, but Grace still very tanky. Nice stun again onto T-Tigers. Selena Gomez getting down very low, taken out by T-Tigers. Slata getting taken down low as well, but Scarf on the side gets caught. Very, very nice use of the afterburn on T-Tigers to jump through the wall, pick off the Scarf, and Lance is the only one left on his team, and it looks like this push might be the end of it.
Yeah, with 32 seconds on Selena Gomez and 40 on Irwin, this is definitely an opportunity where Immortals can easily burst down this turret. I don't even know why they're trying to focus on Slata here. Just take the turret, you'll get your victory, and move on. Turret is down, and the carries are still not on board for Fox. So that will be game number 1 going over to Immortals. A very slow-paced game. But again, you know, when you do have the heavy carry of a Celeste or a Scarf, the game is naturally going to go later and later. But it is Immortals going ahead and showing that witches are clearly more powerful than dragons.
Yeah, that game was just centered around a lot of skirmish fighting. They get one kill, are able to take an objective or push, and they're just able to punish just that missing piece, especially if it's Lance, the front line for the side of Echo Fox.
Yeah, and to close out that game and get us ready for the draft for game number 2, we will be jumping over to the desk with Dragonborn.
Thank you guys so much, Fonz and Denominate. That was surprisingly close. I mean, not in terms of objectives, but definitely in terms of some of the team fights. Down to the wire, I mean, we saw Immortals start to actually run into the issue. We talked about Scarce, right? His win rate after 20 minutes, it's very high. But, you know, when you're a team as good as Immortals, you start to, you know, figure out how to play a little cautiously there. Some mistakes by Echo Fox ultimately led into that. But let's talk a little bit about those team fights, that microplay that took place. I mean, you know, we really just saw Immortals playing into Echo Fox's win conditions right around that Crystal Sentry, and they were still able to win those fights day. I mean, there was so little Echo Fox was able to find as far as minor victories throughout this game.
Yeah, I definitely think that they have the potential to come back and really make this an intense series. Obviously, we are in a best of 5, so Echo Fox really just has to focus on not letting that first game loss there go on to affect how they play in the next game. So that is definitely something we have to look forward for Echo Fox here. They really didn't lose out the fights on any huge mistakes. You know, it was just little simple micro plays here and there that really gave the favor over to Immortals. So you definitely have to be prepared as Echo Fox, and you have to keep your mindset in a winning zone.
Yeah, one of the things worth noting is most of the fights worked around the tri-bush, and although Lance is great in tight corners, the tri-bush has a lot of area, and it was actually kind of hard for Slata to lock down one of the carries. He was get Grays, they did get some kills here and there, but, you know, Scarf Irwin, he wasn't able to really, like, just blow somebody up. And as a Scarf, you know, even in the late game, even if you're behind, that's something that you just need to be able to pull off if you want to get back into the game. When I saw the Kestrel pick, I was expecting a Crystal Kestrel, and then, of course, the Scarf pick came in to round it out that really fixed that as being a weapon. But I think that, you know, when you go into this, we have seen Crystal Kestrel just be an absolute nightmare. And into a composition like this where you have a Glaive just cannot keep track of all of the active camos that are going to go down, and it can be something that really punishes him for being aggressive, or punish someone like T-Tigers for being aggressive. That's something I think that Echo Fox going into game 2 needs to be mindful of. They need to be able to punish T-Tigers. T-Tigers loves to go in very, very deep into a fight very quickly.
Yeah, and getting on that glaive was absolutely huge for him. The afterburns were always on point, getting to that back line, putting somebody in the front where Max Green could get a Holy Nova to chain down. There was obviously core collapse available to them, as well as there was often a set up supernova ready to go. And we really saw a lot of splash damage coming onto that Kestrel, who was going very, very offensive. Did get into an Aegis, but man, Dienzio, once those broken myth stacks were built up, was just able to clean house, and that really led Immortals to victory, was just the placement of the afterburns coming out of T-Tigers.
I think one of the things worth mentioning here is just the sheer challenge that it is going into a Grace when you don't have a Lyra and you don't have a Catherine. We've seen this, that Grace, does have a fair amount of counters, but in the banning phase on A side, you're given such a strong advantage. You get to ban Lyra, and then you really make probably the most difficult choice. And, because Grace is countered by Catherine, you can't let Catherine through, because even if you get the Grace, but then once you take the Catherine away, Grace is just this dominant support player, even with the nerfs from 2.7, that we're really seeing teams struggle with. Those fights were pretty even, but the difference maker for sure was those divine interventions coming in, making massive amount of heal, even with those nerfs to her heal in this update, and still able to turn those fights in a lot of cases for Immortals. No doubt, Immortals played a very superior game, not losing a single turret. All right, with that, we are, I think, just about ready for draft for game number 2. This is going to be really important. Echo Fox does move to the A side, and we talk about the A side has an advantage, but you could definitely blow it if you don't pick your junglers correct. So this is something that I think Echo Fox, they have an opportunity to come back into the series by getting a win here in this game.
Yeah, they definitely can. And whoa, a Samuel ban comes out of the side of Echo Fox. Really trying to look to get their choice of healer here. I think that goes into that zone of a throwaway ban that we were talking about earlier. The Catherine still comes off the board from Immortals. That is going to be a Grace, and now a Glaive. Picking up the Glaive again, not even picking up that Lyra, will likely get banned away now by the side of Echo Fox. Yeah, we don't want to give that combination over.
Yeah, we've seen this actually a few times where, Grace is good, but we've seen it get countered. It's like as long as it's not Catherine. I'm actually surprised Echo Fox didn't ban the Lyra, but I think ultimately Immortals feels confident enough that they don't need the Lyra for the heal. They are going to go with the Lance. Max Green definitely made a lot of reputation with his Lance play in past games.
Yeah, he has, and the Lyra does, as you mentioned, get banned away by Echo Fox, so not giving that healer over. And that is now going to be a Vox for the side of Echo Fox, so definitely getting onto that comfortable laner who really has a couple different build paths going into this 2.7 update. The go-to build of that Poison Shiv, Tension Bow, Breaking Point isn't always the best build this patch, so it is nice to see a little bit of versatility coming out of these Vox players. And that is going to put a Crystal jungler in for Echo Fox. We just have to decide which one it's going to be. Obviously, the Celeste banned away from Irwin, and the Scarf is still on the table. That is something we could go, but Scarf into a Lance and a Glaive, whew, that's a pretty risky pick.
Yeah, I agree. I'd really like to see Irwin pull something else out. I've heard his Samuel's very strong, and Samuel with this composition would be great. Samuel's good at punishing an aggressive Glaive as long as you give him a good front line, and they've got Grace, which is a fantastic front line. You just got to be careful from overextending. Well, but they're going to go with the Scarf. Obviously, Samuel's banned, as I should have remembered, and that's interesting. You kind of force yourself into a hole with that Samuel ban early. Not really sure why Echo Fox did that. But now Immortals, they just have to think of something that just deletes this Scarf off the board, and it's not even going to matter if you have a Grace.
Yeah, it's obviously the Grace will give some sustainability over to the Scarf or the Vox, whoever is taking the most damage. But again, the lockdown that we have on Immortals here is really going to make life difficult for this Scarf, especially if you're fighting in corridors where that Githian wall can be so effective at stunning up several members. It is going to be a Idris that comes out. So this will likely be Dienzio in the lane on a Crystal Idris, and T-Tigers getting that Glaive back in the jungle that he really had a great performance on in Game 1.
Yeah, one of the things I love about the Idris is when you go into something like a Grace or any kind of crowd control, you can sometimes avoid having to use your reflex block by using your ultimate to get out into a position where you avoid the stun, or if you're trying to avoid a Dragon Breath. It's a kind of a nice tactic. There's a lot of damage that comes out of there when you're right in the middle of it. Sometimes it's just, it's a great way to save yourself, also to just jump to an ally. So we've seen Zio play the Idris, so that has actually been something he's played a lot in the past update, and that with 2.7 making Idris even a little bit more of a priority pick for the lane, I'm actually really excited to see his play come out for this hero.
Yeah, definitely excited. And as you mentioned that Shimmer Strike can be used on enemies or allies, going that crystal route actually gives you a little extended range when you jump off of that target. So that can be used as an additional gap closer, a very powerful gap closer, or even as a incredibly useful escape. If you are on the run, you can jump to a teammate, jump off, get that additional distance performed. And then what that's going to allow you to do is the enemy's chasing you down, they're very likely going to channel up. And then that chakram can really turn a fight around and do so much work.
Yeah, Crystal Idris is very strong right now, and D'Enzio is one of the best players I've seen take new heroes like Idris and then just really show everybody that he can learn very quickly. This kid's fast. He's fast at picking up new things, and this is something that, I think, he's picked up very well over the last couple of months. With that, we should be getting ready to go into this game. We like to talk a little bit, we like to speculate a little bit, Denominate. And of course, this matchup, does Echo Fox have a draft that's good enough to take down Immortals? Because, from what we've seen, they really need everything to align for them to even have a chance, just how strong Immortals is synergy-wise. And Echo Fox, of course, has had really great performances in the past. What do they need? What is the key to success with their current composition?
For Echo Fox, obviously, we just have to get that Scarf online. That is going to be really the one thing that has to happen. Vox, once he gets his first tier 3 item, he really is a viable carry at all points of the game. People actually underestimate how much damage, team-wide damage, a weapon Vox will do over the course of a fight with those resonance bounces. And going into a composition that has essentially triple melee once Idris does get that Divergent Path online, which thanks to update 2.7 will be a little bit earlier. He still doesn't have the longest range of those ranged heroes, so he is still susceptible to that bounce damage, which really adds up quickly.
No, it absolutely does. Alrighty, so this is definitely going to be a pretty exciting matchup. We're waiting a little bit. One of the players did pop out for a quick second, so we're going to have to wait for him to get back into queue. And once we do, we'll get this game started momentarily. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Now, this is a best of 5. This has the possibility to go the distance. Question is, can Immortals do it? And I think Denominate, this is really pivotal. Game 2s usually dictate the winner of the series of a best of 5. Because it's so hard to come back. We see it happen. It actually happens, at a high, probably double-digit %. But it's, one of those things momentum-wise, especially for a team as talented as Immortals, is not the kind of hole you want to dig yourself into for Echo Fox.
Yeah, it's definitely not a situation you want to be in where you're down 2-0 against Immortals. Now, I do think the crowd favorite here is obviously going to be Immortals just because of, obviously, we mentioned Echo Fox did drop out of the Vainglory 8, and then Immortals with a huge performance in the last weekend there did acquire enough points to lock in that 4-seed spot, moving in all the way from the 8th seed. So definitely, it's a difficult team to go into, and obviously, as they're preparing for championships here, they're going to want to be getting the best practice they can in. And, realistically, Echo Fox is a good team for them to be practicing right now because it's not somebody that's going to take their secrets into the championship.
No, you're right. And, of course, Immortals is just showing us time and time again how much synergy these guys have, playing for the past season and improving. Really a little bit of a rough start. Being in challengers, I think, was maybe difficult for them to show their stuff. But now they've got an opportunity, and we are jumping into game number 2. So I'm kicking it over to my amazing casters, Denominate and Fonz, to get us into all of the action.
All right. Hopefully game 2 is a little bit more action-packed than game 1, but let's see how it goes looking at these comps.
Yeah, it is looking to be a little bit more of aggressive compositions put together, at least for the side of Immortals. Once the Divergent Path comes online for D'Enzio, he's going to really be able to change the fights and the play style that an Idris can provide. Obviously, with this Scarf pick for Fox, they're still going to want to be fighting for that late game chance. And actually, we don't have quite as aggressive of rotations coming out this game.
No, not at all. We see D'Anzo safely farming up in the lane. No rotations coming in, no invades into the jungle other than a little bit of poke coming out from Selena Gomez, but that's what you get when you're a Vox.
Yeah, it definitely is. And with Max Green rotating into the lane now, he does have to be careful. These impales in the early game do so much damage, and that's going to make it really easy for D'Anzo to follow up with the Chakram. So Selena has to be super careful as the Dragon Blood is
careful. Max Green's able to get an impale. I don't know if anyone saw that before, but T-Tigers was walking right into the Echo Fox jungle, finding Irwin, but just a little bit of disengaged dancing around, and Immortals just gets a little bit of damage onto Selena Gomez. And now Slata is just jumping in with Benediction onto D'Anzo, getting some nice damage out, but he decides to jump back in. I don't know what D'Anzo is doing right now. He's getting very low, but nice afterburn coming in from T-Tiger is able to get the first blood onto Vox before Grace is able to finish off Idris. Irwin comes in with a goop slow, a little bit of damage with the Spitfire, but Lance is just tossing Irwin around like it's nothing, but he does wind up giving away his life for that. Nice 2-for-1 pickup on the side of Echo Fox.
Yeah, really good pickup for Echo Fox there. It did look like D'Anzo went back in to try to bait Selena Gomez into a position where T-Tigers and Max Green could come up and get the kill. However, he took a little bit too much damage in the process, and then Scarf was able to take down Max Green at the end of that fight as well. So it's definitely looking good for Fox that they were able to pick up a couple clean kills there early. Obviously losing out on Selena, not the best scenario, but getting a kill onto Scarf and Slata was definitely huge.
Yep, exactly. Now T-Tigers coming in on the side. Nice afterburn. Unable to land the impale from Lance, though, and Lance is getting taken down very low. Selena Gomez chasing forward, able to land the last hit, and now they turn onto T-Tigers. But, whoa, nice return kill. But again, it's another 2-for-1 trade coming in the side of Echo Fox. They're winning these trade-offs, even if it's a 2 versus 3.
Yeah, it's definitely looking good for Fox. They're able to take good situations where they do drop one person, but are able to clean up 2 in return. And Selena Gomez does look to be working into that Poison Shiv, which is going to give Vox an immense amount of sustain. And at just 3 minutes, Slata has a fountain now in his pocket, and Max Green is just a little too spread out to be in the same situation, about 650 gold behind getting that fountain. Now, he does have the Dragon Blood, obviously, and the boots, but, we definitely have to focus on getting that fountain out here soon from Max Green, because Slata having that fountain could really turn a fight around.
Exactly. Now we see Immortals just invading the Echo Fox jungle, trying to clear it out, take as much away from Irwin as he can, because Irwin's already level 5. They're just decide to 3-man lane, maybe get some chip damage onto the turret.
Yeah, they definitely have some opportunity with this Scarf. Again, Scarf just so good at pushing down objectives, especially once he gets that first tier 3 item built, which will very likely in this case be the Frostburn, to get some slowdown and help provide some extra peel against Max Green and T-Tigers. But D'Anzo really needs to shop as soon as possible. He's sitting on 2,500 gold in his pocket by the time he makes it down to shop.
Yep, exactly. But we just see a couple of rotations here. Selena Gomez and Slata getting back into lane, just so that Selena Gomez can just keep farming like he needs to. And D'Anzo back in as well, able to get a Chakram onto Slata, but Grace just being way too tanky for them to really engage on without any items like fully completed. But Max Green getting taken down very low as well, and he doesn't have the fountain to regen at all, and this is where that kill discrepancy comes in. Slata able to finish up these items.
Yeah, D'Anzo does have the Shatterglass complete now, so he does have that Divergent Path. A good Githian Wall from Max Green is going to push that Holy Nova back. But obviously, like we mentioned, that fountain is not available for Max Green. He is going to have to recall if he wants to purchase it. And T-Tigers is so far away from the lane right now. This is going to allow the side of Fox to rotate down and get an advantage at that shop. Selena Gomez has almost 1,200 gold in his pocket.
Yep. All right, Lance went back, finally able to pick up the fountain. and we just see Echo Fox with, even with the kill discrepancy, the gold has been fairly even thanks to D'Enzio farming.
Yeah, thanks to D'Enzio farming, he is sitting 12 CS up above Selena Gomez, but we also have to give some credit over to T-Tigers. He's sitting above Scarf right now, who at this point in the game should have a faster jungle clear because of that goop. And now T-Tigers has to be careful, and he also has a level advantage over Irwin right now as well.
Yeah, he does. And now we see Max Green trying to maybe cut off Selena Gomez. There's the Githian wall to push him out, but not able to really do anything. No stuns coming out or snares. And it's just another kind of skirmish going on between laners. We don't really see too many jungle invades or aggression, so this is a lot more careful game than last.
Yeah, it definitely is a lot more careful of the game, but T-Tigers actually did make an aggressive rotation and stole a Treant away from Irwin there, just really preventing this Scarf from coming online, which is what they need to do. So getting Glaive to level 8 now, he has that overdriven Afterburn.
Oh, here it is. Very nice Impale coming out. There's the Githian wall. Selena Gomez immediately getting taken down, unable to really do anything. Fountain still available. So is Grace's ultimate. The Divine Innovation was unused. And there goes their core.
Just hit level 6. He literally
just hit level 6
at the end of that fight. So it wasn't up soon enough to try to save Selena's life. But now Immortals is pushing and trying to get some damage down on this turret. But
and there's the Afterburn. T-Tigers coming in with the flank and the follow-up Impale from Max Green doing a great job. Slata getting poked down, but they are able to defend this turret from that 3-man push.
Yeah, fortunately for Fox, that obviously Immortals didn't get much damage down on that turret, so we're sitting just a little bit lower health on the Immortals turret. But as D'Enzio gets into this alternating current, he is going to start to really rack up the damage in these fights. And T-Tiger's just a couple hundred gold shy of getting a Sorrow Blade in his pocket, which is going to be a huge amount of burst with this Tension Bow as well, obviously having that 10% pierce.
Yes, indeed. And D'Enzio coming out with some poke, able to get Selena Gomez and Slata down, just maybe 10-15% damage chunks coming in from the Chakram as well. Max Green getting chunk low as well as he gets hit by the Spitfire. But T-Tigers is here on the flank, ready to jump in with an Afterburn. And I don't think that Immortals wants to take this fight until Lance hits 6 and has combat roll, because he is hovering around level 5, half HP.
Here they
and there
come.
goes T-Tigers with a flank. Nice Impale coming in into the Afterburn. Irwin getting down very low, but so is the rest of Immortals. There goes Lance, and there goes Glaive. Some immense damage coming out from Slata and Vox. Vox getting taken down in the end, unfortunately. Irwin does survive that entire engagement, but no gets taken down by the Chakram. Whoa, D'Enzio going ham, able to use his Chakram to get the kill onto Scarf, and that was a very intense engage coming out from both sides.
It was, and what really turned that fight around was a beautiful 3-man Holy Nova coming out of Slata as the enemy team was collapsing onto Irwin. That did give them a little bit of additional time to turn the fight around. But Selena Gomez sitting with this breaking point as a second item, not really able to ramp up the damage that Vox potentially can yet. Be interesting to see what he goes in for that third item. I think that we could still go with that Tension Bow to get that pierce. But man, T-Tigers coming in trying to find Irwin.
Yep, there it is. T-Tigers trying to jump into Irwin, but Irwin able to kite back with thanks to the goop, and Slata's Benediction coming in from the side. He's able to force everyone out. Max Green having to impale away. T-Tigers having to use his Afterburn as an escape. But that was some great footwork coming in on the side of Irwin.
It definitely was, and we do have a kill advantage still on the side of Fox, but the gold lead is still in the favor of Immortals thanks to their being ahead in the farm. Obviously, Selena being under 100 CS, but man,
hold on a second. There goes Slata. Slata's going so hard. Max Green pushing him back into the fight with a Githian wall, and Selena Gomez trying to come out from the side of this fight with a little bit of poke damage. D'Enzio just answering back with some chakrams and some auto attacks. Really, nothing after Slata jumping in coming to fruition.
Yeah, but fountains are available on both sides, and the Divine Intervention is down for a little bit from Slata, so we could see an engagement still. T-Tigers...
There it is. Slata jumping in, but jumping onto T-Tigers, but T-Tigers is just able to shrug it off. But here in the lane, Selena Gomez getting dove on by Dienzio, and he's able to pick up the kill. And this might be the turret. There's the Benediction coming in from Slata, but the Githian wall from Lance onto Irwin is able to stop any follow-up aggression and poke coming in from Scarf. Dienzio able to get out, pick up that broken myth, but Max Green getting caught out here, able to use the reflex block and stop the Holy Nova stun from coming out. And T-Tiger is just coming in for another extended engage. Slata able to jump on him, Scarf getting the Spitfire down, T-Tiger's getting dropped very low, he's dead. Slata unable to get taken down by Dienzio, so there is no return kill on that. But there's just more poke coming in on the side of Irwin. Slata takes a turret shot randomly, but Selena Gomez just diving under this turret, trying to get some more damage out and maybe another kill. Slata jumps in once more, and there goes Max Green and Dienzio just defending this turret with their lives.
Don't know if they're going to defend it much longer, though, Fonz. Dienzio's very low, and that turret is dropping very quickly.
There it is. There's a turret going down, and there's Dienzio going down. The second that turret went down, Slata just decides to jump in and say, "Hello, Idris. Nice to meet you. Goodbye." T-Tigers comes back in, but Echo Fox is able to just walk away.
And you do have to be really careful when that Scarf does have that fan the flames on you, because it's really hard to judge just how much of the basic attack damage is going to come through. Obviously, you get that bonus crystal damage on your basic attacks when an enemy is burning. So Irwin making really good use of that perk there. They are able to clean up a turret as well as a kill and actually bring the gold lead in their favor, picking up that bounty on Dienzio.
Yep, and now we see a little bit of push action just back and forth coming in on the lane. Slata and Max Green dancing around each other. T-Tigers is coming in from behind, but they do get spotted out by that trap. And just some back and forth pushing coming in. Maybe this might be a minor call, or they're just going to try to clear the jungle. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, Max Green does clear out a little bit of vision there on this Lance, so that is going to take some of that vision out of the jungle, allow them to make aggressive jungle invades without being seen if they so choose to. Obviously, Lance so good at fighting around those obstacles. So that's really, we want to see Immortals fight in the channels, get that crowd control down, get hopefully a 3-man Githian wall. But man, Max Green's
there's a 2-man Githian wall onto the chorus thanks to Lance, and there's a 2-man impale. There goes the afterburn onto Selena Gomez, but there's a bunch of shields and reflex blocks going out right now. Slata trying to chase in, Dragon's Breath taking Max Green down very low, Dienzio getting found, trying to answer back with some damage, Slata getting taken down very low, Selena Gomez half HP, but you see T-Tigers coming in on from the tri bush, but is unable to really find the flank, but both teams just walk away losing nobody, but just a lot of damage going out.
I think Echo Fox is in a much better position this game. We do have Selena Gomez going into 3 items, did go with that Sorrow Blade, but we really have to make note of the Scarf. The Scarf has now made it into his 3rd item, which we didn't see in game number 1. He was forced to prioritize a lot of defense, and he never really got to that online point on Scarf. Now that he is, we really are going to start to see the damage ramp up in these fights. But obviously, as Dienzio is going for 4 offensive items on Idris as well, we have to watch out for those chakrams, as they will chunk somebody down if you're not careful, especially if the 2 passes come through. So definitely have to make sure that if you are Echo Fox, you can't fight in a line. You have to make Dienzio commit to 1 target and not get that AoE down. So, the positioning out of Irwin and Selena Gomez is really going to be how Fox wins these fights going forward.
Yep, and here it is. We have the 15-minute mark going off. There goes the Kraken, so that's another major objective on the field that both teams are going to be fighting for. And it looks like they're positioning for it because both teams are around their tri-bush. Irwin getting out some early poke damage, but answers for it with a nice axe to the face from T-Tigers. But T-Tigers gets taken down very low as well, unable to answer with a kill. Selena Gomez getting taken down low as well. Whoa, Kraken coming in with an auto attack. But Yeah, Lance is the only one left on the side of Immortals, and that was a very unfortunate engage coming in on their side. Now this follow-up coming in, I don't know if Lance is going to be able to get out of here because Slada and Irwin are just right on his tail, able to take him down thanks to all of the CC slows with the Goop and the Benediction chase, taking out the Crystal Sentry as well, and now they're starting up on the Kraken. And this is where Scarf has one of his strong points because thanks to the Goop and Spitfire interaction, they're able to put down a lot of damage onto this Kraken very quickly.
Absolutely. Scarf is one of the best heroes for taking down objectives, and we just see how fast they're taking it with just the 2 heroes here. It's not even going to give T-Tigers enough time to make it down, and this game is starting to look really bright for Echo Fox in this best of 5. Obviously, dropping game number 1, they are showing no signs of the, what's the word I'm looking for, Fonz? Their morale has not been impacted. There we go. So they're definitely bringing their A game here to game number 2. Scarf in a much better position. The Eve, the Frostburn, and the Broken Myth online. War Treads from Slater ready to go. And Selena Gomez working into a 4th offensive item of his own. We do,
hold on a second.
To be careful here.
We have to because this push coming in for the Kraken, and T-Tigers finally gets found out from Selena Gomez, face checking that bush, gets pushed back. There's some shields coming out. The Githian wall is able to stun Slada, but no follow-up kills able to be found. Dienzio unfortunately got taken down very early in that fight, and whoa, T-Tigers just gets blown up thanks to the damage coming out from Irwin, both from the auto attacks and the Spitfire Goop combo. And there goes 2 turrets down immediately from that one team fight. Now this might be the Crystal Vein turrets coming down as well. But Dienzio is able to defend. Nice snare interaction with Max Green coming in, able to stun and snare all 3 members of the side of Echo Fox. But unfortunately, they pay for it with a 3 turret push coming in from Echo.
Yeah, and again, Scarf really in the zone right now. 6-1 on Irwin, really showing that these Crystal Mages in the jungle is where he excels. Again, getting that 3rd item online has really been the key difference here for Echo Fox. We didn't see as much defense prioritized early and just used positioning as your defense, and it's looked really good for Fox so far. They do have to be careful, though, as they obviously don't want to give anything over to Immortals. That is a pretty sizable bounty that's built up on Irwin right now.
Yep, exactly. And if Immortals is able to capitalize on Irwin being caught out or taking down Selena Gomez before he's able to get some solid damage out, they can turn this around. They're only three turrets behind, and they have enough damage to equalize that thanks to Idris and Glaive.
Yes, they do, but, obviously as this game goes on, Scarf gets more and more deadly, especially once he gets the defense built, and he is working into that now. Level 12 infusion on all 4 of the carries, so this next fight could really be decisive. If Fox wins this fight, they win the game, and if Immortals wins, it could spell a little bit of a comeback for them. They have to find a couple fights. They're not going to clean it up off of one, but giving Scarf Broken Myth stacks early is not how Immortals is going to win this one.
Yep, agreed. It's just a bunch of dancing over around the jungle. I don't know if either team, they're both waiting for the Kraken to show up, so they're looking for a team fight to end this game. 19 minutes in. There goes a Githian wall coming in from Lance, able to get the stun, but Slada misses his Holy Nova, but able to get poked in thanks to the Idris Chakrams. Irwin and Slater both not at full health. They're going to try to regen thanks to Treant. But yeah, this is going to be an extended engage, probably. Just a lot of kiting around. There's an impale over the wall, but it's not able to find anything.
Yeah, both Idris and Scarf are going to be looking to try to build up Broken Myth stacks before we make a heavy engagement, but obviously, I think Immortals has the better engage with the Lance and the Glaive. But, as Selena gets closer and closer to this 4th Tier 3 item, he's going to really start to rack up some damage quickly. The Sorrow Blade, obviously, going to be just raw damage, but he's also working into a monocle. There is enough gold in his pocket for it, but will he get a chance to make it down to the shop?
Slada jumps in thanks to the Benediction, but Lance is able to push him back. They're still going to be fighting around this Kraken. Max Green just getting taken down to half health because of it, but I don't think Fox is trying to fight this right now because they are on the low end for the vision. And now it looks like Max Green's trying to engage onto Slata. Irwin taking down below half HP. And T-Tiger's just jumping in with the afterburn. Gets jumped on back. But wow, Lance is getting taken down very low. But he's able to escape as well. Just a lot of damage coming in on the side of Vox and Scarf. It's just so much poke damage that Lance just has to back off, even when they have proper engages coming in. And now he's going to go down. That was a mistake coming in from Lance. I don't know what was going on there with him jumping back into this fight, but it might cause D'Enzio to die as well. T-Tiger's coming in from the side, but is able to escape thanks to his afterburn. This might be cracking for Echo Fox.
It might be cracking unless if Immortals pulls off something amazing here. Slata's dropped very low, but the Crystal Sentry has now been eliminated. And I think pretty strongly, if that Crystal Sentry wasn't there for that fight, they might have just gone all the way in. Scarf is very low on energy. They do have to be careful here, but Selena did get a chance to shop and does have that monocle now.
Yep. There goes Idris coming in. Unfortunately, he dies. A lot of damage coming out. Grace taken down as well, but they answer for it with the glaive, so it's a 2-for-1. And then now it's the Kraken going in for Echo Fox.
Yeah, they are going to start up this Kraken. Max Green is going to have to make a amazing steal here. Fox has to be careful.
Two-man impale coming in. Githian Wall. Irwin getting taken down very low and unable to get finished. Max Green now changes his target onto Selena Gomez, but unfortunately, Selena Gomez just bites back. Getting Wall back from Max Green. He is able to stop the Kraken from being taken, but I don't think he's going to be able to do anything else.
Yeah, that was a good stop out of Max Green there. The double root coming through really locked Irwin in a situation where he took a lot of damage from that Kraken, and then he actually makes it out alive as well. So now all 6 members are going to be alive. And, we're right back in that situation we had a couple minutes ago where the next fight could be a game-winning fight for Echo Fox. And if Immortals is able to find something with this Kraken, they could find a huge push as these death timers are, pretty much at their maximum point right now, 23 minutes into the game.
Here we go. A little bit of poke coming in on the Tri-Bush from Irwin. Maybe trying to just get a little bit of early starting damage. T-Tigers just forcing his way in front of Kraken, showing that they're ready for a fight. There's a flare, able to see into the bush. And yeah, just a little bit more dancing around this Kraken. But T-Tigers goes right back towards the lane, just trying to push it out, forces a rotation because everyone else just decides to move over. Max Green placing himself in the enemy Tri-Bush, but decides to go south. And yeah, it's just back and forth dancing.
Yeah, and this has really been the case for the last couple fights here. Obviously, Immortals has to play it careful because if they do lose out on that fight again, that is going to be Echo Fox taking game number 2. D'Enzio finds a little bit of chip there onto Selena.
Yep. Same thing with some chakram damage onto Slata, but it's a Grace, and Grace is able to tank those hits very well. Irwin just trying to land these Spitfires, but everyone's able to kite around them and dodge very effectively.
Yeah, and I think Fox really has a lot of potential. They have so much damage going into this next fight. Everybody in the game does have a level 12 infusion on them, so on the even playing board there, Slata going into some crystal power, looking for the additional reduced damage from that retribution, as well as some bonus healing on the divine intervention, but we don't have 2 of them, so that is something to make note of here as Max Green makes his way into the shop, and fusions are burning out for both teams. If Immortals can control the shop here, then they have a higher chance of finding a good fight.
Yep, Slata jumping in. Max Green taking a lot of chip damage there. He did miss the wall push, but I don't think this is going to mean too much in the long run for these team fights. Sure, it means that Slata can just jump right onto T-Tigers with no answer, but yeah, Immortal is just not willing to take any of these fights unless they're able to get maybe 2-3 men impale into a stun in these corridors.
Yeah, oh man, some good Spitfires coming through out of Irwin here have brought Max Green down to about 2/3 of his health, and even a couple finding T-Tigers and Dienzio do have a small chunk of them missing. So as far as the health bars go, there is a slight advantage to Fox here, but as they rotate into the lane, they are now the ones on top and are going to be looking to rotate down and collapse onto Immortals. They see the flare come out, they know they're there.
Yep. Here goes Max Green trying to jump in. I don't see any way that they can really go onto this, because if I was Lance, I'd be want to fight in these corridors. Maybe T-Tiger jumps in onto Irwin, gets a nice impale, just cut out that damage from Scarf, because he is that late game threat coming in, not just Vox, but Scarf as well.
Yeah, and this has been super passive here for the last 6 minutes or so. Both teams trying to get some breaking point and broken myth stacks built up. It's just, this is a game of poke. Whichever one is able to get some broken myth stacks built up is very likely going to be able to take the edge in the fight. But thus far, it has been Irwin usually. But now Dienzio...
Whoa, there's the chakram damage coming in from Dienzio. But he also gets poked back from the Spitfire. Same as T-Tigers. Irwin doing a very nice job with these skill shots.
Yeah, they really both have. And when those chakrams do land, especially if they get that second pass, they do a devastating amount of damage to Scarf, who has no shield built 27 minutes into this game. Really been prioritizing those infusions.
Wow, looks like Echo Fox wants to engage. They all popped... They popped a speed boost going in with the boots from Slater, and Slater just decides to Benedict his way into Lance's face. But unfortunately, Lance is one of those heroes that can just take a beating and rebuff everyone back.
Yeah, and again, the passiveness continues. We do see some engagements try to get forced out by Echo Fox with the Ward Treads, but Max Green answers back with some Ward Treads of his own, and they get the escape off. I just, I don't see in this game, as late as we are, Immortals being able to find the clean fight that they need, as they're not going to be able to find anybody really caught out. It's going to take great play out of T-Tigers and Max Green to really lock somebody up.
Yep. Or misplay on the side of Echo Fox, but I don't think with how Echo Fox has been playing this game that they will do some sort of mistake like that, even though they did just get a little bit of poke on. Lance did land the impale onto Irwin, but it's just a little bit of chip damage, nothing too serious.
Yeah, and you can't really chase the Scarf and the Vox because there's so much slow potential, and then obviously as Scarf pokes you, but hold on, Slada does get locked up a little bit here, takes a big chunk.
Yeah, gets taken down to half HP, unfortunately misses the Holy Nova, but yeah, I don't know what Immortals is kind of waiting for. This might be an opening with Slater being a little bit around half HP, but again, that's the Grace. And now he just popped Divine Intervention, so that might be that 15-second opening that you're looking for, because he's down one ultimate. And there's a nice stun coming in on the side of Lance with a Githian Wall stun onto Selena Gomez, but just some more poke coming out from Fox, and they don't want to do it, but... T-Tigers gets found in the tri-bush, but Vox getting taken down below half HP, but T-Tigers also burning down as well. Very nice two-man Githian Wall coming in from Lance, but he answers for it with his life. Unfortunately, Echo Fox is able to take him down even with a two-man stun. Dienzio unfortunately has to run away for his life, or else it's just going to be a 2-for-0, and it's going to be end at that point. It's going to be end of the game. And there it is. Oh, he goes taken down. Slater chasing T-Tigers, and here it is. This is the end game push that Echo Fox has been looking for, and now that's an ace.
There's the ace, and that is going to be game number 2 going over to Echo Fox, tying us up 1-1 in this best-of-3 series. And, they just really played it well. And again, Irwin on the Scarf this game was really that game-changing factor here. And then obviously as Selena got that 4th item for himself as well, the damage started to ramp up so quickly. But to break this game down and to get us ready for, I believe we have a break coming up between game number 2 and 3. I think it's just a short 5-minute break, but it will be Dragonborn getting us ready for that.
Thank you so much, Denomine and Fonz. This game just did not want to end for a long period of time. Echo Fox I mean, they finally found that synergy. We talked about, was this the game they needed? They needed this matchup. They had A-side draft. They got all their comfort picks. Selena Gomez on Vox, Irwin on his Scarf, and of course they had a Grace as well. It looks like this could just be the battle of A-side drafts as how this is going to go back and forth throughout the night. Evening the series, and you're absolutely right. You hit on it. We are going to take a slight break, kind of like a halftime break here, as we let the team players get a few seconds to breathe and collect their thoughts before we get into game number 3. This does mean, though, with this win over Echo Fox, we'll be going to at least 4 games. We've got a long haul ahead of us if we are going to get this done. This is the only series we're streaming tonight, but it could be going the distance and already looking to be shaping up to be an exciting one. We'll be right back, everybody, after this short break.
Ben, Sam, and Ken are on separate journeys to defeat the menacing Vile Dragon. But let's just say luck isn't on their side. If only there was a way for them to find each other and band together. Well, that's why there's Band. It's a mobile app that allows people to come together using common interests. With Band, you can find fellow gamers, chat, schedule gaming sessions, and conduct polls. Stage epic battles with friends while sharing videos and photos along the way. So try Band today. Band. Be together.
Hey everybody, welcome back. We are getting back into the action here at the VIS desk as we are halfway through, or maybe potentially halfway through, our best of 5 series. We'll just have to wait and see as Echo Fox, they evened up the series with Immortals in probably the most stalled out game we've seen in a while to dominate, but it was pretty thrilling. Really just nothing Immortals could do. I mean, they played so defensively, trying to find some kind of weakness in that composition when we started to get into the late game, and they just couldn't find anything.
Yeah, they couldn't find it. The Scarf and the Vox and Grace was just such a deadly combination there.
Yeah, they tried so hard.
It really showed, and fortunately with the Grace, they were able to sustain long enough to allow Vox and Scarf to build up in the fights, and then it was finding a kill, finding some chase down, and it was really just a clean game for Echo Fox on a whole.
The draft begins.
Yeah, that was the challenge. You could see it, right? Where the Scarf would build his breaking point stacks, and Idris really couldn't come back and counter. So with that, we are going to have Immortals move over here to A side. It is, of course, 1 game apiece and game 3, as that all gets updated. But Lyra is going to be the ban, and Immortals looks like they're going to stick to their original game 1 draft.
Yeah, they definitely are. And I think, again, Grace had some changes in this most recent patch, but I still think she's a very strong utility tool to have on your team. Not even just the Divine Intervention, the damage percentage reduction from Retribution is huge, and it is a Vox coming through first pick out of the side of Echo Fox, and a Kroll band away, so very likely going to look to pick up probably a Mage here. Since the Grace is locked in, we know another Captain isn't going to get taken away. The Lyra will likely get banned. Oh, it is the Scarf! Okay, so Immortals actually really respecting Irwin's Scarf.
Yeah, indeed they are. Samuel, of course, still on the board, and there's a few other heroes we know Irwin can play, but this is something we've actually hit upon quite a bit, Denominate. Nobody has respected that Scarf ban until just now.
Yeah, nobody's really respected it, but Immortals obviously feeling the pain from game 1 that is going to give the Celeste over to Irwin. Again, sticking to that Crystal Mage playstyle that he is so good at, and that really is allowed by the Kroll ban here. So
indeed,
Vox has picked up another really strong duo here. The Vox and the Celeste is really going to make it difficult for Immortals to engage, and we see a lot of time being spent by them right now figuring out just what they want to do.
Well, but they get 2 picks to do it, and they've got the carries for Echo Fox. This is a little bit risky by Echo Fox. They've revealed their hand here with Lyra not available. It's likely going to be an Arden or a Lance, and I think there's no surprise there. Immortals now has to think about, like, okay, how are they going to go? If it's a Lance, if it's an Arden, if it's a Fortress, unlikely, maybe a Rome Baptiste. All these different things you have to compensate as you go into these next 2 picks, because you've got this potential jungle Celeste, very squishy if you can get on top of it. And I wouldn't be surprised. Koshka's not banned here. Is Koshka able to go toe-to-toe with the Celeste, or is that just too risky as Celeste starts to get powered on?
Well, it's pretty risky into both the Celeste and into the Vox, so it is going to be a Kestrel locked in here. This is going to buy them some more time to figure out what they want to do. Obviously, T-Tigers, pretty impressive Kestrel. That definitely could be looking to go onto him, or it could be Dienzio in the lane on that Weapon Power Celeste again. Just buying time at this point, keeping something flexible.
The Celeste, the Kestrel, oh, it is going to be the Crystal Kestrel. You see the Idris likely flex, and I really like this Crystal Kestrel. You've got the potential to pick a Fortress here, or get a hero and lay down a lot of scout traps to try to counter this. But even if you do, if you get hit by a couple Glimmer shots, you're going to be insta-deleted. And this is a composition that Immortals absolutely can snowball with, and they're going to have to. You don't want Vox Celeste getting to late game, absolutely, regardless of what support play here.
I think if you're Fox, you just pull out the Arden. You just bring the family together. Arden is going to be your best bet for a frontline captain, able to soak up some of those Glimmer shots. I just really don't see anyone else. I mean, you could do the Fortress. The Wolves obviously do block out some of those Glimmer shots, but then you're forced into a heavy engage situation, and your team composition isn't really about engage. It's about sieging.
Well,
and it's a little risky to me.
If it's a
against
crystal,
an
yeah,
Kestrel.
here's the thing. If it's a crystal Kestrel, the wolves prevent Kestrel from going invisible. So in a way, which means prevents active camos, which is something that a crystal Kestrel could do very well. So with good vision, you could have gone to it. They are going to go with the Ardent, like you said. I think that's the more conservative approach. I would have loved to see something a little bit risky from Echo Fox, because they're definitely going to, they want that chance to be able to take it 2-1 to Immortals.
Yeah, again, the Fortress might be a little too aggressive for the composition they have put together. Obviously, with Fortress, you want to dive, and with a Celeste on your team, dive is not really your strong suit. You want to be able to fortify yourself up, put some zoning control, which actually is going to be your offensive tool against the Kestrel, as well as obviously the Solar Storm coming through can do a huge amount of damage. So Idris on the front line is really just going to be having to deal with getting onto that back line and going the weapon route. It's going to be an easy path for him to do so.
No, I agree with you, and that's exactly what's probably going to happen. I really do like the Crystal Kestrel here. Typically what we see is a very strong glass cannon where we see double shatter glass, we've even seen triple shatter glass over the couple weeks here. And if that comes out, if T-Tigers gets a hold of that, oh boy, Echo Fox is really going to have to be careful how they decide to go through the enemy's jungle. But with that, we should be getting into this game momentarily. I really feel like Echo Fox needed that win game 2. They got it. They did the job they needed to do. Now it's all about playing each game as if it's the next one, focusing on this victory. They really have a shot now to get right into this and maybe even take the lead of this series as we jump into game 3.
Yeah, and that's got to be a pretty sizable confidence boost for them, taking a game off of Immortals. So definitely something to look forward to here. Obviously, this is going to be about Slata making engages with the Gauntlet where he can trap T-Tigers in a devastating position where Selena and Irwin are able to rein in the damage.
No, that's absolutely true. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, we are just about ready to jump into this matchup. This is game number 3. Everybody watching the semifinals here on VIS Professional. It really comes down to this, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, winner is going to take all. And, of course, you have to win this semifinals to make it to the finals to get that $1,500. But without further ado, let's jump right into it, Denamine, as I kick it over to you and Fonz to jump us into all the action.
Wow, looking at this game, it's going to be pretty intense. But hold on, I don't know if this is the same for you, but Grace is missing on my screen.
Yeah, that is what's happening. So we'll very likely have to we'll probably get a reset here because this is usually a device crashing during the load screen that causes this to happen. And Max Screen is probably actually sitting at the home screen right now. I don't think he is going to load in at all. So I'm not sure what the official ruling is on that. We'll have to probably get with Dragonborn on that one, but it doesn't. This shouldn't. I don't think this is Max Screen's fault here. So this is yeah. Hopefully we have a ruling here from Dragon.
Yeah, the rules are pretty clear. If it's a game deciding bug that ultimately would impact your ability to play, we're not talking about crashing mid-game due to internet connections or due to old device. We're talking about simply just not getting into the game. We will implement a restart here. So game 3, it's almost upon us. Of course, same picks will be in place, but as soon as we can get these teams restarted in this match, we will. And so, definitely something we'll keep an eye on. So we actually have to wait for the restart. So we're going to take a quick break here, guys. When we come back, we should be able to get you guys back into this action.
Ben, Sam, and Ken are on separate journeys to defeat the menacing Vile Dragon. But let's just say luck isn't on their side. If only there was a way for them to find each other and band together. Well, that's why there's Band. It's a mobile app that allows people to come together using common interests. With Band, you can find fellow gamers, chat, schedule gaming sessions, and conduct polls. Stage epic battles with friends while sharing videos and photos along the way. So try Band today. Band. Be together.
Hey everybody, welcome back. We were able to get this restarted, so we're going to be jumping into the game momentarily. Thanks for all your patience. Unfortunately, when you have a bug like that, you do want to make sure everybody's on the same playing field, and 2v3 is just not that. So, thankfully, we're going to get this game restarted here, and I'm going to kick it over to our casters, the Nominate and Fonz, to get into this matchup once it's underway. So, apart from that small little hiccup day, it looks like we should be getting into this game momentarily. Any last thoughts for you before we jump in and start breaking down the action?
Well, I think if Max Green doesn't load in, Echo Fox wins. But
nah, we're good. Everyone's in. So let's jump right into it as the game has started.
All right, there we go. Thankfully, a bit of a break, but let's get back to the action. What are your thoughts on who do you think is going to win Game 3?
Well, I mean, it's really going to come down to the vision control to me. Whenever there's a Kestrel in the game, specifically a Crystal Kestrel, whoever controls the vision is really who controls what happens in the fights. So if T-Tigers is able to be really aggressive with his positioning, then it should be going over to Immortals. But if T-Tigers is forced to play really cautious and defensively, then I think as the game goes later and later, Selena and Irwin will really start to take control of things off of the back of Slade's vision.
Yep. Unlike other games, we didn't see any jungle invades, but we do see a bit of aggression onto Slata, some chip damage coming out of D'Enzio and Max Green. Irwin does come up once he hits level 2, maybe as a backup in case Immortals decides to engage, but does head back to base. Now, Selena Gomez just doing his job and farming up. We don't see too much action in the jungle. We do see Kestrel going down, taking out the Elder Treant. But yeah, it's what we expect coming out at 1 minute 30.
Yeah, it really won't be until we get to like a heavy prism and eclipse prism point in the game, maybe even into that shatter glass, that we really start to see the aggression come out of T-Tigers. Obviously, Kestrel will come online just a little bit sooner than Irwin on the Celeste, who's really going to have to get to level 8 before Celeste really becomes that powerhouse danger that we know her to be. And then same with Selena. He'll really have to get 1 or 2 or 3 items completed before Vox starts to be that huge game-changing hero. And then Max Green, though.
Max Green jumping in with a benediction. D'Enzio, on the back of D'Enzio's chakram hit. But yeah, Selena Gomez getting chunked out, but there's the core collapse onto D'Enzio. He gets taken down by Heliogenesis. Very nice follow-up coming in from Irwin on his rotation.
Yeah, really smart rotation out of there. Was able to place that core collapse right after D'Enzio used his Shroud Step. So he wasn't able to use that as an escape for the rest of that fight there. And they are able to clean it up, and it is on to one of the better of the targets you want to get it on, Irwin or Selena. Obviously, we don't want to give the first blood over to Slata, as the captain items are just naturally cheaper because of the amount of gold income that they get. T-Tigers might get caught out here, though.
Whoa, okay. A little bit of damage coming out. T-Tigers might be going down here. Let's see it. He does. Slade is able to pick up the kill. Glimmershot unable to save him. Unable to pop active camo. And Max Green looks like he's might be chunking down here as well, taking in a lot of damage. The Heliogenesis does miss. Ooh. And Irwin unable to follow up with a kill. But yeah, there we go. There's an answered kill coming in on the side of Echo Fox.
Yeah, it's sitting up 2-1 for Echo Fox right now. Gold is dead even. Pretty much, at least. We're talking about 100, 150 gold, somewhere in that area. Selena Gomez is going for that first item, Poison Shiv again, which will give, obviously, the sustainability, and then, obviously, also going to give the reduced fountain effects out of the side of Fox. So definitely something that is going to be, or I mean, out of the side of Immortals, which is going to be effective. But now
Arden jumping in the lane, getting a lot of chip damage going into Selena, but in the jungle, just it looks like to be some more poke aggression coming out with T-Tigers trying to catch out Irwin with a couple of glimmer shots. Unable to find anything, though. The Elder Treant does switch out for the shop. Gold Miner comes onto the field. The entirety of Immortals is now in the jungle, leaving Vox able to farm up this lane just willy-nilly, and Irwin just deciding to back off.
And despite everything so far, it is D'Enzio in the lead on CS, as well as T-Tigers in the lead very slightly. Now hitting level 6, one shot, one kill is active, so we might get to see some snipes coming out of him that could finish off a kill. We saw a couple of them come through in yesterday's games, but T-Tigers getting pretty close to having that Shatterglass complete, just about 700 gold away right now.
Yep, Slata able to find the rest of Immortals in their jungle. It just allows him to jump onto T-Tigers, walking into a core collapse. Irwin able to finish up with a Heliogenesis, with Selena Gomez just putting out damage in the back line. And yeah, there goes T-Tigers just getting caught out once again.
Yeah, it was a little bit too aggressive of a rotation there. He did come up to try to get some damage on Selena, but Slata was right in his face immediately. Both fountains are online as we are now in the 5-minute mark, and a little bit of a gold lead developing for the side of Fox right now.
Yep, there was a quick benediction from Max Green onto Selena Gomez there, but Slata able to back up his core with a Vanguard. Irwin just, again, roaming around the jungle trying to find kills, get some vision, maybe a pick, some extra poke damage, but it looks like everyone's going to back off, going to leave D'Enzio to farm in lane.
Yeah, and that's going to cause Selena to miss out on a couple more CS here, as well as Immortals going to be able to get some damage on the turret.
Nice.
It's a couple glimmer shots, but
Slata took a couple glimmer shots after the benediction from Max Green. Unfortunately, not able to get the active camo stun on top of it, but they are able to chunk down that turret to below half HP.
Yeah, if Slata's able to stay out of combat here for a couple seconds, he'll start ticking in that health regeneration from the fountain. But a one-shot, one-kill misses. But is the turret going to go down?
The turret barely holding on, but Max Green able to stop Irwin from jumping in the fight thanks to a nicely timed Holy Nova. And I believe, yeah, the fountain just went off for Arden. And Irwin doing a lot of work. Solar Storm coming out. Unfortunately, it misses on the kill for Kestrel. Heliogenesis going out. Selena Gomez diving for this kill. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Irwin backing off. He's very low. Max Green, half HP as well. Not too much energy. But D'Enzio stays alive throughout all of that. 1-for-1 trade.
Might be able to get some good damage down on this turret.
This turret might be going down here. And now they're turning on to Slata, but Slata able to kind of shrug off all that damage thanks to Vanguard.
Yeah, I mean, Slate is not really going to be a priority target this early on in the game. If you're able to take him out as the game goes on, you're obviously going to take those massive Vanguards out of the picture. So there's definitely some opportunity for that. But first objective goes over to Immortals, bringing a little bit of the gold lead back on the other side. Level 6, D'Enzio now has the Shimmer Strike available to him, and that's going to allow him to avoid some of the incoming damage. But here we go.
Nice engage coming in on the side of Immortals, but there goes Arden's gauntlet going down. But wow, Irwin taken down because of the poke coming in from this Kestrel. Great job counter-initiating on the side of Immortals.
Yeah, one shot, one kill comes through. Oh my god, Selena!
Whoa!
Walks into the trap.
That was unfortunate, quite unfortunate. T-Tiger's doing a lot of work here on this Kestrel. More Glimmer shots coming through. He might be able to take down Slater, but unfortunately he misses his third or fourth Glimmer shots.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, whoever controls the vision game is going to really win out on this game. But Irwin
getting caught out by Max Green as well. He can't be taking these shots. He's not a frontline captain like Arden. And now D'Enzio is able to find them as well. But while D'Enzio is able to dance out of that core collapse, Irwin's just trying to get these treants and heal. But now there's a dive under the tower. Vox gets taken down quite quickly from the combined assault of D'Enzio and Max Green. T-Tiger is just taking down that turret immediately. So just extended engage is leading into more objectives.
Yeah, and that's really how we need to see Immortals play this out. Because as the game goes on, this Celeste is going to start to be incredibly game-changing. Frostburn and Eve now online, so they're doing a really good job making sure they keep the gold in their favor, as well as making it more difficult for Selena to farm, sitting at just 76, 77 CS right now, as D'Enzio approaches 100. So obviously seeing the lead in lane there developing pretty sizably.
Yep, exactly. And that's where these skirmishes and rotations come into play. It leads into pickoffs, it leads into CS leads, into objectives, and Immortals is playing this game almost perfectly. One shot, one kill does miss, unfortunately. Irwin coming in with some heliogenesis on the side, maybe trying to get a little bit of extra poke damage coming in from the supernova. He is level 9, so he does have max level into heliogenesis, but they decide to back off.
Yeah, and Max Green not done with the aggression, goes in on Irwin.
But able to shrug it off and walk away, even though Slayer decided to follow. Crystal Sentry does come up, showing his face for a little bit, but I don't think Immortals wants to chase too hard, because one shot, one kill is down. Arden does have the gauntlet, and with Irwin standing on the side, his kit is just perfect with Arden's. But Immortals take this time to take Goldminer. Great rotations coming in.
A really smart rotation, you know, really not wanting to give another win over to Echo Fox here, so really trying to push the advantage while they have it. Very limited amount of vision down for the side of Echo Fox is allowing T-Tigers to really have those aggressive engages.
There goes Crystal Sentry. Yeah.
So overall, looking really good for Immortals right now. All of the vision for Fox is in the lane, but Max Green is going to start to look to clear some of that out, just so they can continue the aggression that they have.
Exactly. And we see T-Tigers just roaming around in stealth and maybe trying to find a little bit of aggression, some poke damage onto Irwin, because he is going to be that backline aggressor coming in for the side of Echo Fox.
Absolutely is going to, and as we see Immortals rotate back up into the lane here, Max Green does clean out a little bit of additional vision, which is going to allow T-Tigers to advance a little bit further, but he does have to be careful of that scout trap that D'Enzio just found.
Yep, D'Enzio does take the poke damage. Yep, T-Tiger's getting a lot of poke damage onto Slater. Slater getting taken down almost to half, having to use the Vanguard on Selena Gomez just to block a little bit of damage. Oh. Selena Gomez, walks into 2 Glimmer shots and immediately blows up. Unfortunately, the core collapse does miss, but T-Tigers goes hard, gets hit by the Solar Storm, and Slater in the gauntlet taken down. Irwin, unfortunately, low on energy, unable to do anything outside of walk away, but decides to run back into this fight, 1v3, and just gets taken down immediately, causing Immortals to take down another turret.
Yeah, and now look at T-Tigers looking to be aggressive
right behind Selena Gomez. Mistrap.
Gonna spot him out.
Yeah, Selena Gomez able to take him down because the active camo trap was unable to stun him, and Slater just with the follow up, they are able to answer back with a kill, but they do lose the turret, and they lost all 3 heroes earlier.
Yep, and we're going to have a pause come out, very likely due to some connection. As soon as I have an update from Dragonborn, I will let you guys know. But, obviously players responsible for their own connection. We fortunately have the ability to pause when there is an issue, so we can give you guys the best gameplay possible, especially coming into the semifinals here. So as we look to get whatever issue we have sorted out, let's take a moment to look over at the builds. T-Tigers does have 2 Shatter Glasses ready to go now, and that's really what we were able to see in that last fight. Big 400 damage spikes coming through onto Selena. Blew him up very early. D'Enzio sitting on 3 offensive items as well, and Selena Gomez trailing about 30 CS right now, only sitting on 2 items, looking to build into that breaking point. So definitely noticing that lead that D'Enzio has here in the lane right now. Fortunately, T-Tigers does drop as, again, the vision is going to be important out of Slata. And with the contraption, he's really making sure these scout traps get placed as frequently as he can. Looks like we might have lost Fonz there, so hopefully we'll have him back here in just a moment. Echo Fox is
I'm back.
Continue to push up the lane. And,
looking at Immortals side, they do have these 2 scout traps in the tri-bush and the lane bush to, do their job and scout out the rotations coming in from Echo Fox. And like you were saying earlier, Selena Gomez trying to get out that next item will be a big point in time for Immortals to take a fight or another objective before he gets that item online, and which they do in the gold miner.
Yeah, it's definitely looking good for Immortals here as their objective game has been so strong. But looking over, got another pause coming out. Looking over at the side of Fox, there is a lot of vision developing for them, which is going to start to make it difficult for Tigers to make those aggressive engages like he has. So he does have to start being cautious, as well as Max Green needs to throw a couple flares out and try to get some of this vision down so that T-Tigers can be that heavy carry like he is.
Yeah, especially now that it's 13 minutes, and in about 2 minutes, Kraken is going to be up, so that's going to be a major point of contention between both teams, because so far for the past 2 games, Kraken has been a point of contest.
It definitely has been, and let me look over and see if we have an update on what's going on. Not quite yet. Again, it is probably a player connection issue, just not entirely sure which side yet. But, as we are 13 minutes in the game, Kraken will be on the board here pretty soon. And if Immortals is able to find one good fight in a Kraken, they very well could end game number 3. Or it could be Fox finding a fight and turning this around, getting some bounties brought over to their side, as well as a Kraken push would be incredibly huge for them at this point in the game.
Exactly. If they could pull that off on the back of an ace, that immediately puts them in shot of base turrets. Because of how the Celeste and Vox work in their pushing, it would work in their favor extremely well if they were able to win a team fight. But now that we're back, Selena Gomez stuck in lane. I believe he's still lagging because he's over here by himself taking a lot of damage from T-Tigers and gets taken down by D'Enzio.
Yeah, it definitely looks like the lag is on Selena, as he was just auto-attack following a target there, which is what you will do if you disconnect. So, Immortals seeing the aggression come out, maybe not having recognized that yet, but it is not looking good for the side of Fox. Crystal Sentry brought down to 1 life, and 14 minutes in, ticking closer and closer to 15 minutes. Hopefully Echo Fox can get their connection issue solved here so that it's not just a free Kraken going over to Immortals.
Exactly. And looking at the vision game going on, Immortals has done an amazing job so far, and especially invading into Echo Fox's base. I believe Selena is just floating around in the back line, but with Kraken up in 30 seconds, Immortals aren't looking for a fight right now. They're headed back into the jungle, taking what they can, and trying to get some items up before Kraken.
Yeah, they definitely need to get some items going for themselves. Celeste is in a similar situation to Scarf was in the first game. Irwin is only sitting on 2 offensive items and not anywhere near
that third, as T-Tigers now has the Halcyon Chargers complete, which will give him some additional cooldown, some additional energy regeneration, as well as a longer burst of speed out of the Boots proc active. It does look like Selena is back now. Maybe not. Maybe he just walked off the healing platform. Here we go.
Yep. Okay, it looks like he's back.
Yeah, hopefully he's got his connection solved. We obviously don't want to see a game go over due to a lag issue.
Here we see Immortals taking down Kraken with no repercussions whatsoever. They're going to take this down really quickly. And it looks like Irwin and Slater are going to try to move over to contest, but are unable to because Kraken's already taken down. Yeah, this is quite unfortunate on the side of Echo Fox having a bunch of connection issues right now.
Yeah, we've seen both sides have some connection issues here tonight. Dienzio has 2 defensive items completed now. Only thing left to do is upgrade those boots to a tier 3, but I don't think the game's going to go on long enough for that, as Kraken marching down the lane now with only 2 turrets standing between Immortals and victory. It is going to take an incredibly good fight out of Fox here to be able to pull something off.
Yep.
So if Selena's still lagging, that's not going to be looking good for the side of Fox, and as he is hugging this healing platform, it does not look good for Fox here.
Not at all. T-Tigers does take a lot of damage from the Supernova by Irwin. The Gauntlet does go down, but Arden's taking down extremely low thanks to Dienzio's damage. Max Green just chasing on the Irwin, but the Vanguard coming in with just a lot of help, able to keep Irwin alive. Selena Gomez still having connection issues, unable to be into this fight, but the Kraken is just taking down these turrets and now onto the Vein Crystal, and it looks like it's game 3 for Immortals. Unfortunately, it was game 3 because of a lag issues, but Echo Fox was on the back foot of this game for the majority of it. So we have game 3 finished, onto a game 4 for Immortals versus Echo Fox.
Yep, and that is now a 2-1 lead in the series for Immortals in this best of 5. They're just 1 game away from advancing, and Fox really has to pull together 2 clean wins here if they want to move on to the finals, which will be on Saturday. I believe the finals are also a best of 5, so we'll be looking forward to those as the games are spread out over the next couple nights, but we'll be jumping over to the desk with Dragonborn.
Well, that's an unfortunate way to end the series, or end the game, I mean, as we did see Immortals take it. No doubt about it, T-Tigers very aggressive, doing so much damage early on, but we did see Selena Gomez became near unplayable for the end of that, and with that, he's actually going to get subbed out here in this game, and they're going to be bringing in Super Shot to take his place. A player that we've seen come onto the roster multiple times, and one that actually has had some success with these guys. He's played some games and won some games together. So we'll just have to wait and see as we do switch Echo Fox over and we get into game number 4. So looking at Immortals, of course, were able to get some of the picks they needed, and Scarf was taken off the board. But, you know, there was some still close, tense fights until we started to see Selena Gomez simply just unable to, you know, continue with the game. So Super Shot coming on, is this the player that could definitely help like change things up for Echo Fox?
They've definitely had more of their success with Selena Gomez, so it is unfortunate that he's not able to stay connected at this point in time. But it's definitely anybody's game still. We've seen Fox, when they do get that scarf, they were able to play an incredible game and really take things over. So I'm a little worried about Super Shot coming in. The hero pool is a little bit different, maybe not as comfortable on some of these incredibly strong power picks in the lane, like the Vox. But that can be an advantage and a disadvantage all in its own. So we'll have to look forward to draft number 3, but it is looking pretty favorable for the side of Immortals right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, they are switching on the B side. We've talked about it. B side is a little bit weaker in this current draft, just from the sense that you get the support you want, you get the strongest support, and it's really not that hard to draft around it. What we have seen B side able to pull off, though, is if you try to get too creative on A side, you can often get countered by, we've seen Cruels and we've seen Petals come in very strong counter picks to some of the compositions that come out on A side. So, have to wait, of course, to see if that happens. We are looking to get into draft for game number 4 of this best of 5.
Yeah, we'll be getting into the draft here shortly as we get the players in. I do need a re-invite to the party.
Well, we're going to get into the draft. Yeah, we'll get that to you. But first, we're going to go and probably get into the draft here. Get into this game and hopefully get this underway here. It's getting already pretty late, but, you know, these have been really close games to nominate.
Yeah, they really have been. Specifically, game number 2 was really a large confidence boost for the side of Echo Fox. So hopefully Super Shot can come in with some hype for his team and continue that train off the back of that unfortunate loss there due to obviously Selena not able to stay connected. Unfortunate way to lose, but, you know, again, you have to be responsible for your own connection. We know sometimes things happen, but you also can't pause the game all night for you. So,
no, that was unfortunate. It was something that he actually couldn't get resolved at all. But it looks like, you know, you get his chance to restart. That's what you got substitutes for. And Super Shot is a very good sub. I mean, when we've seen him play, when he stepped in for Echo Fox, the team has not looked worse, so they haven't looked weaker. He really has kept with the cadence, and I think they have a lot of synergy with this guy. So, you know, really wouldn't be too surprised if you still see Echo Fox put up a fight. I just think that Immortals might have learned their lesson from game number 2, and hopefully will come into game number 4 on B side with a little bit better. Echo Fox employs the same concept though, taking that Samuel out on A side.
Yeah, Samuel coming off the board on A side is going to give the Grace over, but with the Lyra on the board, I do think that they're going to take that over, and they don't want to give up a heal, as obviously that didn't work out for them earlier. They do take the Celeste off the board now, and I actually wouldn't be surprised if you are Immortals, if you do take the Scarf here as it comes around to the second pick and really try to force Irwin out of his comfort. They banned away the Celeste. They have a huge opportunity now to pick up that Scarf, which D'Enzio was really known for quite some time. And Echo Fox taking a lot of time to think about this. I almost think if you are Echo Fox, you have to almost consider banning away that Scarf.
I mean, that is so unfortunate for Echo Fox to have to ban away the hero they really want to play. But you're absolutely right. Immortals has thought about this draft through. This honestly should have been the draft that Immortals drafted all along. The only thing from Gabe 2 that was the major mistake was that pick on B side, that first pick. They are going to take away, I think, this is smart, take away at least one of those heroes that D'Enzio's been favoring the last couple of games. Put him in. Wow, so Immortals decides to go to Vox, and this is interesting because Selena Gomez is out of this game. That was his signature hero. I'm not sure if the Vox pick here was necessarily needed. They could have really focused on Irwin.
I definitely think I would have liked the Scarf pickup here for D'Enzio. Again, it's a hero he's really been known for quite some time. And it really would have put Irwin in an uncomfortable position because Fox's real success has been on that Celeste or on that Scarf in the jungle. Even more specifically, the Scarf. So this is probably going to be a Kestrel for Super Shot and a Scarf in the jungle.
Right, for Irwin.
Definitely what I expected to see coming out of the Fox draft. Maybe it was, potentially Immortals could be baiting it out here. They could go with something that can snowball the Scarf early. The Kroll still is on the board, who does do really well into the Crystal Mages, but I think that Grace Scarf combo for Echo Fox is just such a strong composition right now that Immortals is kind of on the back foot of this draft.
I don't know. They've got a strong position here to counter draft. We haven't seen too much. Koshka is going to be who comes out. This is really risky. I mean, we talked about Koshka going into the Celeste. It's going to be a weapon Celeste, so it's going to be even harder to get on top of that. But if you do, you will be able to shut her down pretty quickly. You won't be taking as much burst. My fear here is that goop coming out of the Scarf.
My fear here is a lot of things for this Koshka. Diving in, we don't have anybody else on the front line. It's not like you have a Koshka and a Grace where it's going to be 2 people jumping in. It's going to be Koshka alone jumping right into the face of some Glimmer Shots, some Spitfires, some Goops, some Holy Novas. I mean, there's just so much that really works well into the Koshka here. Active camos that T-Tigers is going to have to play this perfectly. And we have seen in the past Immortals run the Null Wave towards the mid to late game on the Captain, on Max Green. And they actually don't use it to target the Captain. They use it to target one of the carries and get that reflex block down so that they can then jump in and get the for sure stun with the Yummy Catnip Frenzy. That's really what they have to do here if they want to win. Echo Fox literally has everything they could have imagined to need to go into this Koshka pick.
And I absolutely agree. The only caveat is that T-Tigers, if he can get the early lead, can shut down the Scarf, which I think is going to be hard to do. I think he could do it. If he does do it, I think they win the game. But, Scarf early game actually is pretty good at Akashka. Typically we've seen Scarf scale to late game, which he does, but he really is able to poke an aggressive jungler like Kashka, and if you don't take Scarf out of the fight early in those first skirmishes, you're going to actually pay the price. But we're into the game, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into it. This could be our last matchup of the night. We'll have to wait and see as I kick it over to our casters, Denominate and Fonz, to carry us into the action.
All right, thanks a lot, Dragonborn. Hopefully, we'll see another amazing game coming in. Super Shot coming in on Kestrel. Let's see how this works out.
Yeah, we are going to have to see how this works out. Again, I do think the draft is in favor of Echo Fox, especially getting some comfort onto Irwin, who's been their real star player here on the Scarf in all of the games. So I think they have some potential, but again, they have to watch out for that Null Wave Yummy Catnip Frenzy combo that Immortals has really been known for going through the Challenger Series last split, or last season.
Now a little bit of damage coming into Super Shot, forced back to his turret, but some more aggression coming in on T-Tigers with the Pouncy Fun onto Irwin, getting a lot of damage in, level 2, but Max Green also following up onto Slata getting taken down to about half HP, Irwin still low as well, but the Goop able to slow Koshka down, resulting in a very nice kill and early first blood for Echo Fox. More Goops coming in. They're just continuing to chase Max Green while he's trying to just run away. They do decide to aggro the Eldertron. So, yeah, that early aggression paid off on the side of Echo Fox.
Yeah, it definitely paid off for Echo Fox there as they were able to clean up that kill. Again, Scarf just so good into Koshka in the early game, able to restrict Koshka's movement, can really have a huge impact. Her real advantage in the early game is the speed, but Irwin now finds T-Tigers in the jungle, taking away his farm, so getting that aggressive rotation like we really need to see, but Irwin is going to take the opportunity to now rotate up into the lane and try to make sure some of the CS that would normally die. Oh, actually, he's going to try to go to the enemy jungle, but Immortals has recalled. This is super dangerous for Scarf to be going in alone.
Yeah, Irwin looks like he might get caught out here by T-Tigers, but T-Tigers skirting around. He's able to get away, but he's going to get found by Max Green. He does aggro the Treant, but Max Green able to come back. Pouncy Fun onto him. There's the Bulwark. Irwin goes down. I had a little bit of a lag spike there, but yeah, that was a very aggressive rotation on the side of Irwin. There is some answer and damage going on to D'Enzio, but Max Green able to pop the Sigil, get him back to 75% HP.
And that was just such a dangerous recall from Irwin. Again, when you see Koshka taking your farm, actually, will Koshka go to find a kill? He does. So T-Tigers...
Irwin getting taken down again. Very nice catch coming in from T-Tigers. Wow, back-to-back deaths on Irwin. That is not where he wants to start out as Scarf.
Yeah, definitely not. His real potential to counter out the Koshka in the early game is having Grace with him. Obviously, the additional slow and the Holy Nova able to force T-Tigers into an unfavorable position is the way Scarf is going to win it out. So I'd like to see some more rotations down from Slata.
That's a lot of... Hold on, there was a very intricate team fight coming in the lane with D'Enzio just aggressing very hard onto side of Kestrel, getting poked down. Slata chasing after Max Green right now. Might be taken down. Yes, he does. There's the benediction for the chase. And that's 2 kills in the lane. That was a very important rotation coming in from Scarf. Able to get some extra damage out, some extra slow with the Goop. And yeah, I don't know what was going on there. D'Enzio decided to aggress onto the Kestrel, but was unable to follow up with anything, because he didn't really have the damage to contest, taking glimmer shots to the face and getting chased by Slata.
Yeah, and fortunately, Supershot is doing a good job keeping up on his CS right now. D'Enzio's not getting that early lead like he has in the past games. So Super Shot definitely doing some good work here. T-Tigers comes up level 6 now. Very likely going to be working into that Aftershock pretty soon here. And Max Green, almost enough gold to get his fountain, but Slata does have it online, so that could be very useful in the next fight.
There's T-Tigers finding Slata and Irwin. Unfortunately, he does get taken down very low thanks to a preemptive Spitfire. It looks like he might be going down here. There's the Yummy Catnip Frenzy. Unfortunately, he's being kited out thanks to the Goop and Spitfire. Irwin getting taken down extremely low. Slata with the nice backup and the peel on Grace, pushing D'Enzio out as well as the Lyra.
Yeah, definitely doing a good job with this Scarf. He is a bit behind on farm right now, but they're trying to make the best of a bad situation. Again, Scarf is going to scale up as the game goes on, and there's going to come a point in time where T-Tigers does start to fall off, and that is specifically going to be when Super Shot gets some damage built up and is able to really blow up Kashka on that front line.
Yep, there goes Slata jumping in with the Benediction. I don't think he's going to really chase in that far. He doesn't have the move speed or the catch to land the Holy Nova, so Immortal is able to just walk away. Oh, T-Tiger is spotting them out at the item shop. There might be a solid engage here. Kashka using Pouncy Fun right onto Irwin, but they decide to change their focus onto the Kestrel, but unfortunately the Bulwark does go down, unable to save Max Green. Max Green gets taken down fairly easily. T-Tigers low as well, but they're able to chase out the Scarf, who does split away from the Grace, and they did take out Super Shot earlier in that engagement. So it is a 2-for-1 in favor of Immortals, but T-Tigers might be getting taken down here as well from Slata. Benediction is up in 10 seconds. I don't think he's going to get it, but T-Tigers running away.
T-Tigers is going to make it out on a sliver of health here, and that is definitely good for them off the back of that 2-for-1 trade. And now he's going to recall to top up on some health and energy, as well as probably pick up a item here. He could work into a Shatterglass. He does go into an Aegis instead, and now starts to build some of that cooldown reduction. So going to have that Aftershock online here after a couple rotations. Definitely smart getting Kashka that cooldown. Going to keep the abilities active for her, and obviously able to get that strong burst. And we see Irwin and Super Shot building the shielding already, trying to counter out T-Tigers. Now level 8, the Twirly Death is overdriven, and it is all 3 members of Fox in the lane now.
Yep, Irwin just throwing out some Spitfires, trying to get some poke damage onto Max Green, trying to soften them up before they try to engage for this team fight. There goes the Pouncy Fun on T-Tigers, but Grace is not the target you want that on. She's just able to smack her way back onto T-Tigers and just some more poke damage and just chips onto Max Green, getting taken down to half HP, but he does drop the Sigil, so that's not going to be up for this engage. There goes Slata with the Benediction. Super Shot coming in with the Glimmer Shots, unable to land. He lands the second one to the Max Green, but it looks like Immortals is fine to just walk away from this.
Yeah, they should be able to walk away pretty easily with the Lyra, obviously able to heal the team up. But
T-Tigers
now
jumping in on the back side, but unfortunately that's into 3, slowed down by the Goop. 1 shot, 1 kill, does not connect, and T-Tigers is able to walk away. Does get the Treant kill, so he does get the regen. But there was a slight tower dive on the side of Immortal. Super Shot getting caught in the Bulwark, snared up, getting taken down below half HP. T-Tiger still behind the tier 2 turret, and Echo Fox is just trying to find them and kill him. Irwin low as well. They're finding Max Green. Max Green might not be able to make it out. He does get caught in between 3, uses the passage, is able to walk away just fine. T-Tiger still very low in this fight, but they're able to turn it around and take out Super Shot in the meanwhile. Very nice kiting and dancing around on the side of Immortals.
Yeah, really using Kashka's speed to the advantage here, making sure he's able to get in and out of these fights cleanly, and the aggression's not up. T-Tigers.
Whoa, T-Tigers. No, he's not. He's able to make it out, just juggling that turret aggro. Doing a great job, but there's the 1 shot, 1 kill shutdown on the side of Kestrel. Very nice job. Funny thing is, if D'Enzio was like a smidge over to the left, he could have blocked that. But yeah, it does connect onto T-Tigers, right?
Yeah. They did get a lot of damage down on the turret, though. And again, that's something that Immortals has done really well, is control the objective game throughout all of these games. Super Shot is getting hit up by Dienzio, but the Sigil is going to heal him up as he takes the return damage.
Dienzio decides to chase his way back in. There's the active camo. Bulwark does go down, saving Dienzio from the aggression and push from Super Shot. T-Tigers decides to make his way into the lane. Maybe they can turn this around, find a kill or two, or maybe just push into this turret.
Definitely could get some push in. That turret is very, very low, and Immortals are very, very healthy. That is
there goes
turret down.
Yep, there's the first turret. T-Tigers jumping in. There's the bouncy fun. Irwin getting taken down very low. There's the ultimate coming out from Koshka, but T-Tigers is taking those extra turret shots, and he gets taken down. Max Green finding Irwin, and there's a nice kill. The Holy Nova coming out from Grace. Is she able to take out Dienzio? Yes, she is. And now Max Green is the only one that's left. He's just able to walk his way out. That was an intense engagement coming on the side of Immortals.
Yeah, T-Tigers just a hair away from getting the last attack that would have killed Irwin and probably saved his life. But, that's a better trade for Immortals here, as they did get that first turret down. Gold is pretty even right now. But, again, as this Scarf scales up, he does have the Frostburn now. So that is something we have to pay attention. T-Tigers does have an Aegis to counter some of that damage, but it's also resulting in Koshka not building too much damage of her own. And, again, as Super Shot gets some more damage built, it is going to start to become more of a threat for T-Tigers. They've been doing a pretty good job blocking the Yummy Catnip Frenzy, but a clean one comes through on Super Shot in that last fight. And now Immortals is coming down.
Yep, Dienzio forcing his way through, does get scattered out by that trap. They know that T-Tigers is there. Irwin's just throwing out his Spitfires, trying to get some poke damage, soften them up. Max Green does come in with some very nice auto attacks. Maybe we'll see a Bulwark soon. That's some poke coming out on the side of Super Shot, taking T-Tigers down to half HP. Walks right into that Spitfire, but the Sigil is able to heal them up to moderate degree. They are going to push onto this turret. Dienzio does take aggro. Slater does come in. Are we going to see a two-man Holy Nova? There's the Bulwark coming out. T-Tigers in the back line. Now there's the Yummy Catnip Frenzy onto the Grace. Grace gets taken down very low. There she goes. T-Tigers takes another turret shot, but Irwin, unable to find damage with the Spitfire, gets taken down as well, and there's an ace coming in from T-Tigers, just jumping in and ravaging the back line. Doing an amazing job with Koshka, and Immortals with the amazing team fight.
Yeah, it was really beautiful the way they split that turret aggro in the end, and the most important thing that happened in that fight was Yummy Catnip Frenzy came through on Grace during the Divine Intervention, stunning up that heal, and then they were obviously able to lock down the Grace and build up some damage from Vox, who has gone into a Bonesaw instead of the Breaking Point, so really shredding that armor that Slata has built up. Worked out absolutely perfectly for Immortals there.
Yep, that was a great team fight. And follow up on the objectives, they were able to get 2 turrets. Now Max Green is found by Slata just chilling at the item shop. Guess waiting for his team to come in. The gold miner is at full. It's 13 minutes in. We have 2 minutes to the Kraken. And it's just T-Tigers taking some chip damage and stealing Echo Fox's jungle, but he jumps in with a pounce onto Grace. There's a Bulwark going down. Dienzio on the sidelines doing a lot of damage on Vox, and there goes the takedown on the Irwin. Irwin caught in the front line, not where he wants to be as the Scarf, unable to really do anything. And there's the one-shot, one-kill coming out. It doesn't hit, and there's the follow-up engage coming in from T-Tigers. Kestrel getting taken down very low, is taken out. Everyone else is, Max Green has a sliver of health, T-Tigers has a sliver of health, and that's an ace because they're able to take down Grace and the Sentry. And this is going to be a base push leading into some more turrets, maybe another kill onto Erwin.
Yeah, Scarf's pretty good at taking down waves, so it is going to be a little risky for Immortals to say. The death timers are still very low, and Super Shot will be up off the turret death here. So Immortals does have to play this carefully.
They are able to take a turret on the backside of that fight, though. And there goes Slater jumping in. Is he able to get a stun off? No, he's not. But there goes Immortals running away. T-Tigers just trying to disengage. Dienzio coming back in with a lot of damage. There goes Koshka jumping in on the front lines again. The block onto Yummy Catnip Frenzy, unable to take the stun, but is going to do a lot of damage onto Super Shot. But Max Green with the sigil, able to keep his Koshka alive.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Echo Fox went into that fight with Scarf basically on no energy, not the most ideal situation. And Irwin's stuck in that point again where Scarf hasn't made it to his third item by 15 minutes. And that's really where Immortals has taken advantage of Irwin on those 2 games on Scarf. We saw, when Irwin does get that third item online early, he is an absolute monster on this Scarf. And now at the 15-minute mark, Kraken is on the fold. And only 1 turret stands between Immortals and a third victory, taking the series. So Fox has to find something here if they want to
Super Shot
be in here still.
Super Shot going with the engage with the Glimmer Shot. Just aggroing the Kraken, getting some damage out, but Super Shot's getting taken down very low, stuck in the Bulwark. There's the Yummy Catnip Frenzy coming in from the Koshka. With the Pouncy Fun onto Irwin, jumping on him, he's able to put the Goop down just to disengage. There's the Dragon's Breath coming out, 3-man Dragon Breath, but unable to really do anything. And everyone else gets taken down. There's just not enough damage once Kestrel's taken off the field. There's an ace, and Immortals doesn't even need Kraken, because all they're going to do is just run into the base, take out this turret, kill the Vein Crystal, and that's going to be our game, because Super Shot's the only one that's going to be up right now, and it's 10 more seconds until Slater and Irwin. I don't think Echo Fox has a defense here, and there it is.
Yep, that's going to be game number 3, game number 4, victory number 3, going over to Immortals, and they will be the team advancing on, really showing that they're taking this number 1 seed and running away with it.
This is the Immortals that I was expecting through this entire series. They did a great job. Game 2 was super close, though. Super close. And Echo Fox did an amazing job. And Game 3, unfortunately, we had the DC issue.
Yeah, unfortunate for Echo Fox, but, they put up a really good performance, and hopefully they're able to take that gameplay and move on to the Regional Challengers Cup at the Live Championships here next weekend. And, to be closing out the night, we'll be sliding over to the desk with Dragon.
Oh, guys, thank you so much. What a series. Goes to 4 games. Not quite to the 5th game, but definitely, not a complete wash. And Echo Fox, man, they showed up those first couple of games, really keeping it close. So congratulations to them to make it this far. But, of course, the major congratulations goes to Immortals, as they are going to make it to their 2nd VIS Professional Finals. And maybe a chance to make it their 2nd Finals win, if all goes their way. Of course, we are not done with the semifinals. Tomorrow, we'll be kicking off the 2nd semifinals that will be taking place here. Let's actually take a look real quickly at what that's all going to mean for you guys, the viewers. Necrolite versus Rogue will be our 2nd matchup, and the winner of that will be facing Immortals for the grand final that will be taking place on Saturday. So we have a few more games to go before we close the VIS Professional Summer season, and it's going to go out with a bang. I'm telling you guys, this is going to be the making of a fantastic finals. Whoever wins that Necrolite Rogue going into the Immortals, winner does take all, everybody. $1,500, so it matters. You got to show up and you got to bring your A game. Well, with that, though, we are going to say goodnight. We'll see you guys tomorrow starting at 6 p.m. Pacific as we get into our 2nd semifinals here at the VIS Professional. Thanks to our casters and, of course, our moderator for getting all of this under control. And thanks you guys, the viewers, for tuning in to watch. We'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Ben, Sam, and Ken are on separate journeys to defeat the menacing Vile Dragon. But let's just say luck isn't on their side. If only there was a way for them to find each other and band together. Well, that's why there's Band. It's a mobile app that allows people to come together using common interests. With Band, you can find fellow gamers, chat, schedule gaming sessions, and conduct polls. Stage epic battles with friends while sharing videos and photos along the way. So try Band today. Band. Be together.